On today's episode of Let's Talk FGO, yet another part of Avalon the Fae is released, but it's not the last. We'll tell you more about that later, so stay tuned.
Jesus.
Hi, I'm one of your hosts, Omega. I am not Jesus. With me, as always, Lucky. Possibly Jesus? Unconfirmed.
Of Kermitology, maybe. Everyone, I hope you're enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka you are now a Yu-Gi-Oh card. And while we here at Studio Mega like to talk about the latest in FGO-related news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events for both the JP and EM version of the game. So anyone not wanting spoilers should something Fisher King. I got none.
We'll explain all of that later, if you don't already know somehow.
Somehow.
As usual, the internet exploded, imploded, then exploded again. It was Susanoo's exploding implosion. I need a little donk noise. Anyway, hi, welcome to Let's Talk FGO. I was just thinking to myself about how I can go from very softly speaking into the microphone to, hi, hello, how we doing? It's the energy of the show.
Yeah, good energy.
I bring it up a level for you, audience. Speaking of our audience who brings it up a level, I would like to remind everybody this episode is brought to you by patrons like Adam Harp, Comics, Kazime, Architect 10, Blessed G, Carlos, Qua, Dragon, Ferris, Jeremy Vasquez, Jonathan Sandoval, Kelly 10, Legendary Boss Hunter, Liam Kessler, Region Rapper, Rogue, Robin Sharver, Shawnee P, some guy named Bob Soto, Sonora 2 and 723. And if you like what we do and want us to do more, consider putting Patreon. You can access episodes early on some other goodies, and every episode, whatever, but hey.
Thank you. Brought it back.
Yeah. Alright, so, this show, I say this a lot, guys, but this show's probably going to be an odd one because, like, there was news, but also it's not news. It's just they did more of the story thing that they already started, you know?
Yeah.
Stuff happened that was predicted by people, and there's a lot of stuff going on. Like, I think it's fair to say that, as you might expect from, you know, Kinokunasu writing a stack of papers that is possibly as tall as a man, a lot of crazy shit happens in the Lostbelt 6, but other than, you know, oh man, all the rules are broken again. I don't really know what there is to talk about it. It'll be interesting to read. And I'm kind of hoping that maybe we can tighten up the script a little so there's a little less lag between all the parts.
I don't know. It's not going to be like, well, I will say, at least it's not going to be like, you know, Lostbelt 5 Part 1, and then, you know, 6 months later, you know.
Yeah, the Lostbelt 5 seemed like a very deliberate, like, oh, we have an Act 1, Act 2. This is more like, holy shit, this one singular script is so large, my guys. It's so huge.
But for my part, I actually don't know anything about the new part. I've just seen some CGs. So I am, as we like to say, hype.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things and concepts and characters going on. I think, Lucky, you brought this up before. The cast for Lostbelt 6 is fucking huge. This may also be why they had to delay it. They keep having to draw new story sprites.
Yeah.
We're gone from the days of America where you can represent everybody with, like, 2 sprites of just an old guy with shadows over his eyes. So, yeah, it's interesting. We'll see what the haps is. They did not release a full 30-second CM, but they did release another 16-second CM, which has different stuff in it.
Yeah.
But with that out of the way, we will run you through the regular amount of our show things that we do have, and it's time to check with everybody's favorite Kohai, Mesh.
Senpai! 起きてください.
That's right, everybody. It's time for Wake the Fuck Up Senpai Regular Segment for Pro Tips. I have a simple one this week that I thought of like 30 minutes ago. Hey, as a reminder, you can get over 100% bonus in this event for point drops and stuff. So if you happen to have some leftover big boys... Excuse me, sorry. Burp snuck up on me. I will restart. If you happen to have some leftover big boy CEs, you can get higher than 100% bonus. Go nuts.
Whee!
And that's it. That's all I got.
All I got. So I'll take the reign here for a second, and we'll go to Records from the Throne, our regular achievement topic. It's just one for me today. It's nothing special. If you were listening to the last show, you would probably have heard it already. But I did protect Merlin's smile. Unfortunately, I did not get him to 10-10-10. I was only able to get him to 6-6-6 because farming secret gems is a bitch. Even at half AP, I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah, I farmed... I'm so glad that their skill cookies are in this rerun. I am... Once I'm done with all my apples, I think I'm not even going to give a shit about the point ladder. I'm just going to go to the best place to farm currencies to get cookies. But, yeah, it wasn't for gold, but I was farming for blues. It's just so slow.
Well, like, honestly, I didn't have that much harder problem with blues, because even doing it at the
you get at least 1 to 2, and it's cheap, but it's so monotonous. I can't imagine trying to hunt for, like, gold gems, because those are... I don't think you can you get exclusively gold gems from, like, the 40 AP normally? Yeah, no, you can get reds in there, too, can't you?
Yeah, no, and sometimes you just get nothing, and it's just like,
Yeah, that's just... The drop scheme for dailies for class dailies are a little fucked, and I wish we could do something about that. Like, as annoying as farming embers is, it's pretty consistent. You're gonna get an ember out of every one of those hands.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Alright, let's move on and check in with, did you finish your master missions? These are pretty simple. I'm gonna need you to defeat 15 of every not extra class in those combinations that you know what they are, not servants or bosses. Archer, Caster, Saber, Rider, Lancer, Assassin, Berserker. Those are all 3 separate ones, but they're all the same thing, so... You know what it is. Then you're going to need to defeat 3 good servants and 3 evil servants, and then 15 humanoid enemies, which includes servants. I would do my little funny haha joke of do the event here, but also that is, once again, you could do literally anything. But if you are doing the event and you want those apples, you will get all of this shit done, as I think I only have the Archer Caster one not done yet, just because I haven't done literally every quest for apples yet. So, yeah, there you go. Master missions, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Alright, well, let's get to the big news item today that everybody knows about. On the 14th of July, Avalon the Fae Part 2 did release.
Yay.
It dropped with a summon banner, the 3rd summon banner officially for this, with the release of limited SSR Lancer Fairy Knight Lancelot and SR Lancer Percival. There was a little bit of confusion, but I believe that Percival is permanent, as far as I can tell. I have looked at translations of the event, and they seem to indicate they didn't say anything about him not being available after the banner or whatever, so I believe he is permanent. So, guess what? It's not over. Part 3 will be released on 8/4. You thought it was over? No. It's only beginning.
I am almost 100% sure that our anniversary servant is going to be from this goddamn Lostbelt.
Well, that's 2 bullet points down. I'll circle back around there.
Yeah.
My next bullet point is there's a story chapter-related buff for Caster Ku's Disengage, but it's really long and probably a spoil, so we'll cover that one later, maybe? It does interesting stuff with what he's got set up, but yeah, he's got a buff that's related to one of the new story chapters you can access. It is very long, like everything else in this Lostbelt. But my final bullet point in this news item is that this puts us in a very interesting time space. So there's probably 1 to 2 servants left on the preview, and they are probably Lostbelt 6 characters. Some people are like, oh, that last silhouette with that bob haircut can't be Oberon. I'm like, this is this image. They have literally trolled us with several Ascension uses to make it so you don't recognize their silhouettes. Yes, it's probably Oberon, but without, like, a crown or elf ears or something. Like, watch, his first Ascension is going to be super normal, or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, the actual anniversary date is 7/28, but it's confirmed to be a digital event, so they could do it literally whenever. Like, they have said they're doing all digital this year. They're not trying to make it be physical at all, because Japan is still going through a lot of problems with COVID outbreaks and stuff, while also trying to still do the Olympics. A fucking awful position to be in. As an aside note, I recently saw a Twitter thing about how, in order to prevent the spread of COVID, Japan is undertaking anti-sex measures for the Olympians. Because in case you didn't know, Olympians fuck during the Olympics. And in addition to doing stuff like making sure everybody has separate rooms and not distributing condoms as kind of a deterrent, they also have anti-sex beds, which are made of cardboard and will be recycled, and are designed to support only the weight of 1 person, or they destroy themselves. We'll see how that works out for them. But yeah, so we've gotten some, like, loose pre-anniversary announcements. Lucky and I were talking about this in the pre-show. They're showing off previews of some CE-type images, you know. We've already seen, in addition to old standbys such as a Moriarty, looking very dapper. And, there's a Stolf one. We've got a regular Lancer Artoria. There's also, Doman is here. Van Gogh has one. Stuff like that. No 100% certainty on the theme yet, though. BT dubs. But that says that will be from 7/27 to 8/1, but that could just be the campaign for CEs. The translated tweets basically just says, look, we're announcing that we have announcements later. So it's all very wiggly, right? Go ahead, Lucky.
Oh no, sorry. I'm trying to look at the their website kind of has their, that opening page for, it looks like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out, but
yeah,
because they have their 6th anniversary Fez thing up, but it's also on Japanese. I'm just like,
yeah, like they could do it on that day for that week, or it could be like what they did last year, where they started this, they preloaded this stuff because they knew that they would be very spaced out, obviously, since they had to cancel their big event, and so we might get some like initial stuff, and then they roll out the thing later, or we could full blown have anniversary entirely before the last bit of Lostbelt 6. So my personal theorem basically goes like this. If anniversary is before Lostbelt 6 ends, we're fucked, it's Oberon. Like, are they truly going to insert a new character in the middle of the cycle for characters we know about? I don't think so. It'll be like how we got Scotty that one year. If they are planning on releasing it after, because they have done anniversary celebrations, or at least, like, streams and stuff as late as, like, August, like, 10th or 11th, I think, which is about a week after 8-4 and the event drops, then almost assuredly will be somebody completely new who is not on this image, right? Which is the big key thing, is that the character is probably on this image, and I think that the only character left on this image is Oberon, basically. So, we got a little bit of wiggle room. I mean, I guess hypothetically, somebody's just brought up in Patreon chat, we could get a Banner Part 4 ahead of time, right?
I guess that is technically true. Because now I think about it, because, while it was just, Castor Artoria, Part 1 did technically have a second banner.
Yes.
Technically.
And it is relevant, obviously, because Castor Artoria is part of the story, because you keep seeing it at CM. So, like, we could? We'll see. We'll see what happens. If that happens and that scratches the last 2 off the list, that also means we're probably free and clear.
Well, yeah, because they did say technically this is, like, all this was supposed to happen in the first half of the year. Once we hit August, we're kind of, we're
definitely out of that.
Yeah.
Basically, I'll phrase it this way. Here's how my theory works. If Oberon's banner, or the next Lostbelt part banner, and maybe it's not Oberon or whatever, if that doesn't hit before anniversary, the anniversary servant will be Oberon. Because he's the next big SSR in rotation. Pretty sure. I mean, they've gone so far to hype him up a little bit. He's playable in support now, and he has a really weird kit. And so, like, that's usually the kind of, like, big deal shit we run into, right?
Mm-hmm.
If that banner comes out before anniversary, no matter how that comes out, whether it's, a week from now, whether that's, when part 3 drops and then anniversary doesn't happen until after, then anniversary could be literally anyone, and we have no ideas, because they haven't provided us with any previews.
I definitely have, my pick. It's not Tomomovich for once.
My number one guesses are, Proto Merlin or Vich.
Ooh, Proto Merlin probably would be powerful.
Well, what is your theorem then, Lucky?
Like, I mean, I don't think it'd be amiss for them to drop, I'm blanking. Why am I blanking? Hang on. I don't think might not be amiss for them not to drop Cosmo Drop.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's possible.
Like I said, it's possible. It's not likely, but like I said, I've seen CGs. This is one of those things I'm talking about, like, this cast is way too fucking huge.
Oh yeah, they literally don't have the space. There's alt arts for characters we've already had.
Why do you keep saying that, Tyranno King?
Yeah, several people insist it's going to be Solomon related because of the movie. Won't the movie be out way before the anniversary? When's that actual date? Isn't it already out? Hold on. When is the release date?
They say day before the stream.
Which stream? There's so many streams. Final stream? Do we know the final stream date? I don't know a final stream date. How do you know that? Citation needed. I harp on people a little bit about trying to compete too much to post the thing in News Desk, but, like, there are times when I'm like, I haven't heard shit from shit, so I don't know what streams are happening where. All I just see are occasionally I see blocks of Japanese characters. So I'm like, we have a confirmed date for a final stream? When's that? I don't know that.
I mean, did they release a new servant for Babylonia?
No, we didn't get new servant. I mean, so...
Did we get new servants for Heaven's Feel? I mean, I don't know why you guys are thinking that you're going to get a servant because a movie comes out.
Well, to be fair, a lot of those were characters that are already existing. If there are characters that are unique to Solomon, they might be reruns. But also it could just be another Merlin banner, because that's how that worked originally.
Yeah.
I don't want to get anybody's hopes up, but it's... There are slight differences between the two, but yeah, it's... like, I do think that there are a lot of potential weird, spoilery story interactions that could be happening, because, as I said before, Lostbelt 6 is crazy, by all accounts. Well, okay. So, I was gonna say, I don't know if, but FGO is also weird about spoiling itself, so, like, there are definitely characters and interactions that could come up as a result of just the great Lostbelt 6 text fuckling. Like, just, as Lucky has pointed out, them being about 5 million characters in there. Or it could be nothing. It could be somebody completely new out of nowhere. They've done that before. Like, heck, let's see, what was... gosh, I don't even remember. It's been so long. It's been 4 years for us, and now 6 years for JP. What was the first anniversary servant? Was it regular Da Vinci? No, wasn't she on later?
Second was Holmes. So...
Yeah, Holmes was number 2, which was not completely buck wild. I mean, I don't actually think Castoria coming out spoiled Lostbelt 6, other than the fact that she exists. People were like, "Oh, this is a Lostbelt 6 thing."
Yeah, what was first anniversary? Holy shit!
I literally don't know. It was 4 years ago. Nobody in chat is typing, so they don't fucking remember either. I'm gonna call you out. I see when people are typing, so nobody fucking knows. If I don't see several people are typing, no, Holmes was 2. Was it OG Da Vinci? That's what my thought is, but
no, Merlin
was Solomon.
Solomon, yeah.
Were you there, X? Though, to be fair, I'm asking him to remember literally 3 years ago or whatever now.
FGO Anniversary 1. What did we
I want to search, but I also don't want to search, because every single FGO wiki is like a horrible animal about the anniversaries.
Oh yeah, it's Da Vinci. It's Da Vinci, okay.
Okay, it was Da Vinci. Alright, I'm like...
Yes, I dug it up. Oh.
So the 6th anniversary news will be in that block. So, I mean, that sounds like the celebration. God, this is really long. I mean, I gotta be honest, I'm looking at this and I'm like, this isn't, they call it 6th anniversary news, this is just the 6th anniversary. This is like a week long of panels. This is just the thing. Why do I feel like less people put that together than I thought? Like, like I said, I'm literally looking at this huge list of, like, we're announcing goods, we have illustrations, we have, like, days of events with guests. I'm like, this is just the anniversary. I feel like quite a few people I've talked to on the server have been ambiguous about this, and nor has this been, like I said, posted in our own news channel, being like, the anniversary dates are here from here. Whatever, I'm sure we'll get lots of comments in the comments about it. Anyway, there's a lot of nebulous ambiguity about what happens when. And quite frankly, because the story doesn't finish until 8-4, I don't fucking know. Because I don't know if we're in a story position where stuff happens yet. And I don't know, and I don't want to know.
Spoiler.
Because it's very big and confusing, and it's interesting, but also there's so much of it that, like, I'm getting tired of skimming, basically. Like, so many people are posting so much stuff on our spoiler channel. I'm like, I don't even care about getting spoiled at this point. I'm just like, you're giving me too much intel to process. I have other shit to do. But yes, so the short version is that the anniversary period is a clusterfuck, and we'll be sure to let you know what happens when it happens to the best of our ability.
Yeah!
So now we have a couple of news items that Lucky added later.
Yeah, I did. So, I will take these then. So first up, over technically in JP, I don't think they've had an English announcement about it. Not that I know of. But over in JP, we have the Type Moon music streaming release, happening July 30th. So basically what this means is Type Moon will be dropping a bunch of music on several music platforms such as Apple Music, Spotify, Line Music, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, and other major streaming services. Sorry, our Patreon chat is being funny.
Yeah, something very funny happened in Patreon chat. I want to let you know, commenters in the public, you are all shamed. And I will leave you with that.
So, they'll be adding the Fate Grand Order soundtracks 1 through 4, both Fate Grand Order Orchestra albums, the Walt in the Moonlight song material, the Zero soundtrack, Unlimited Blade Works soundtrack, Rio Tenua soundtrack, the CCC original soundtrack. They have reissue next to it, so maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a remaster or something. The Extella original soundtrack, not Extella Link. Karen no Kyokai, Case Files, I like how this translation just called it Wizard's Night, but, Maho Yoru, and actually apparently has, 2 versions of it. So yeah, actually no, it's quite a bit. I do find it interesting that they have not decided to include Heaven's Feel or Babylonia in this collection, though. Yeah, maybe there needs to be like enough time passing or something before this.
Possibly, it could be a slow roll. How many? I mean, I know Soundtrack 4 released a while ago, but how many soundtracks are we up to? Have we released a Soundtrack 5 yet for FGO? Or are we still sitting on that one?
I don't know. Let me see. FGO OST 5. Let me see what that gets.
While Lucky's looking that up. Yes, while this is probably technically JP news, we do live in a beautiful era of VPNs. So even if YouTube Music blocks you for some dumb licensing reason, which happens, I bet it's Marvelous's fault. Burn them into the ground. Eat Marvelous. You can probably VPN your way out of your region lock restrictions. This is not piracy because they are free-to-play things. This is called licensing laws are dumb, and I'll fight you. I haven't packed away my my degree yet, so that's still sitting on one of my my dresser tops.
I have nothing else to say on that bit. But yeah, no, I completely look forward to just adding a bunch of FGO music to my playlist. Mm-hmm. Right now, it's a bunch of Anna Song and Square Enix music. Right now,
yeah, YouTube Music is usually pretty cool about stuff. Yeah. I've listened to a lot of just uploads of shit from even obscure bands. Shout out to Darkest of the Hillside Thickets and Freeze Pop, the latter of whom you may remember from Guitar Hero 2, Less Talk More Rock.
I do not remember this.
Well, they still exist, though I haven't listened to any of their new shit, but I really like their older stuff, because they like guitars. And listen, if Omega's a sucker for anything, it's electronic beats and guitars, so if you combine the two. Anyway, yeah, so the music thing is really cool, and hopefully it will be relatively painlessly ported over here, and if not, I mean, like I said, Vupen.
And final little things, not really necessarily news, but I guess more of a reminder. But we are coming up on the next showing. I don't know if it's the final showing. It's probably the final showing of the Heaven's Feel 3 Spring Song theatrical release, 7/18 and 7/20. Or this is going to be the special 2-night showing, first being the Sunday, the 18th. I will be at this one in ye old local movie theater. Super excited about it. Finally. Fucking finally.
Mm-hmm.
I told myself I'm not gonna stream it. I'm either gonna get the Blu-rays or I'm just gonna get the Blu-rays. But no, they're like, no, here it is. I'm like, yes, give it to me.
And thanks to the power of the Vax.
Yes. I have a Vax. I do not have a Vax card, though, unfortunately. I washed mine.
Rip.
That was a big rip. It was, like, did I actually tell that story at all? I don't know if I
don't think so. I don't remember this one.
No, so basically, actually, I think I told somebody. I'm pretty sure I told some.
Are up in your crow's nest a lot.
It might have been in the crow's nest. So I'll tell it to everyone here. So basically, I work at Goodwill, and as you know, Goodwill likes to do a lot of, public work projects and charity things and whatnot. So one day, it was like 2 Wednesdays ago, that they decided to basically hold a vaccination drive just in their fucking parking lot. Now, I wasn't against vaccinations, but I live a busy life, and I can't be, I don't want to, spend time on my day to go do other things where I'm not necessarily being impacted. I know that's a weird way to say, but listen, I've been wearing a mask for, a year now. I can wear it for, I can wear it for more. It ain't gonna kill me.
I mean, yeah, I was basically the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to be vaccinated, especially as, news of, cases come up. Florida's really bad, for instance. But, also, when am I actually going to go out of my house and get it? So it was just scheduling.
But they were having this, but I was just, tapping on my computer and handling women's underwear. And my boss comes up to me and she's all like, hey, we're having the vaccine drive out there. Have you got your vaccine? I was like, no, not yet. I haven't penciled in time. It's like, oh, you can do it real quick. You just fill out a quick card and they'll just stab you on the spot. And I was like, really? It's like, hey, can I go now? I was like, and I only had 10 minutes left in work. She's like, yeah, you can go now. I would rather you get vaccinated than not. I was like, sweet.
The proper approach as an employer.
So I went out there, they stabbed me, they gave me my Vax card, I stuck it in my back pocket, I'm like, cool, I'm gonna make sure I put this somewhere safe when I get home. As soon as I get home, I took off all my clothes, threw them all into the washer, and wandered off. Not realizing what I did until, 12 hours later when I was pulling it out of the dryer looking for my vaccination card. It was it was bad. It didn't come out in just one soggy piece, it just came out in 20 different fragments.
Yeah, no, I don't know what kind of paper. I could go dig mine up. I got mine done at a Publix, but no, they're not. They're not even like hardy cardboard. They're just like stiffened paper.
Yeah, no. So I was just like, I fucked up.
Well, people are just gonna have to trust.
Don't trust Lucky. Well, no, I'm just still been wearing my mask. I'm just like, whatever. I'll live. I guess I would say I'm more casual about my mask now. I'm just like, whatever. But no, it's fine. Yeah. Anyway, that's enough faff talk for there.
Because that's the news, and then it's time for the ultimate faff talk.
Let me refresh this. My still only says that we have 18.
What the fuck? Did we lose some? We had 21 earlier. Did some people go back and take theirs back?
I'm looking at the one. It says 4 days ago, so...
I got one from 2 hours ago, 1 hour ago. Yeah.
Yeah, no, mine just says 18. I don't know why.
Yeah, my refreshing mine said 18 as well. Well, those 3 are lost now forever.
Forever! But with that, it is time for this week's Let's Talk FGO Mailbag, the segment where we read what you have to say and comment accordingly, usually with class or with sass. Like I said, we only got 18. Like, honestly, I'm pretty sure we can get through 18 in an hour. Jesus.
Yeah, we'll just power through them and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Oh, maybe. I guess people just didn't have anything to say. I cry a little inside.
Well, like we said, canonically, I was looking at it just a second ago before you refreshed and said 18. We had 3 more people had something to say, but they're gone now.
Oh, Carlos
one person is saying that they edited a comment and then YouTube split that post, so they deleted the extra.
Ah, naruhodo.
Interesting.
I wonder if that happened to other people. Let us know let us know. But we begin right meow. This first one comes from Zed, just Zed. He says, comment. Hi there, no question. Well wishes being sent your way today. I super appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Glad you're here. Glad you're sticking with us, and hope that your day is going fan-fucking-tastic itself. Alright? Cool. We move on. This next one comes from Secret Casino King Bun Bun sending more well wishes your way. I appreciate that. I'm gonna need a bag for all these well wishes, but I will take very good care of them. And for you, right back at you. Thank you so much. Super appreciate it. I really do. This third one comes from Killian King, who says, no question this week. Wish you the best. I'm gonna need 2 bags. Omega, I can't hold all these well wishes. I really can't. Help me.
Ah, shit. Hold on. Let me see if I can get something on layaway. Do you want cloth or burlap? Maybe a nice
cloth.
canvas bag?
I don't like burlap. It's very scratchy.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's coarse. It gets everywhere.
It does.
By the way, I want to throw this out there. The timestamps on these top 3 are 2 hours ago, 4 hours ago, 1 hour ago. So, that's right. As we were eating dinner and gearing up to start the show, several people all decided they had to wish us well on our week.
I'm not complaining, mind you.
No, it's just very funny.
Yeah. So, we move on. Jesus, we're already a sixth of the way through. This next one comes from... Couldn't think of one. Who says... Question. I think it was JP's anniversary last year, where Kawasumi-san mentioned that she had a little trouble voicing Castoria, possibly due to story reasoning. Do you think that we're actually going to get voice story scenes, or do you think that she may have been talking about my room character voices, and that she just feels attached to the Saber role? I'm personally going to say...
Probably?
I'm going to say column A, column B.
Oh, yeah. I suppose I do not want to write off the idea that we might not get voice story bits, you know?
Yeah,
I've gotten, like, there's battle dialogue and stuff that we already have, for instance.
Yeah, and, like I said, we do have the infamous partial voiceover for BB in the Seraphics event.
Mm-hmm.
How dare.
They know how to do the thing. I suspect, though, it's probably, because when she did the voice lines, she probably knows more about the character and what they're planning on doing with her than we did, so, because she has to act, so it was probably just, very emotionally dense dealing with all that stuff.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they have, like, some battle dialogue, like, they do, like, a la, Solomon did.
Mm-hmm.
They might have some of that, I don't know.
That is true. We did have a whole scene in Solomon, which was basically just the FGO equivalent of Machinima.
But that, as we say, is that. Thank you very much for the question. We're gonna move on. This next one comes from Dave Lord Vid Kutarsi.
Those eyes don't have the dots. I don't like them.
What? Yeah, they don't. What are those?
A half vertical dash?
Language scares me. Sorry. I have an existential crisis about talking. So, they say, is there any reason why casters don't have quick MPs? unless I'm forgetting someone, I don't think any of the casters have a quick NP. Not even Scotty. No, Scotty has an arts.
Lucky, did you pronounce that correctly? I don't know if you said Gwick NP.
I don't know. I don't know.
Because that's how it's written with the G. Gwick.
No, I just ran right over that. I did not see the little,
So, to answer your question, is there any reason? Don't know. Don't know if there's a reason. Mm-hmm. If there is one, it is not given, I guess is the best way to answer this question you have asked. There are other, even less constructive ways I could answer this question, like, how the fuck do you think I would know? But, no, I think in the spirit, the best answer is just, no, as far as I know, there's no stated reason why casters don't have quick NPs. It could be for a multitude of reasons, all of which are speculative. Like speculations.
Not in speculations. It's probably because, like I said, again, I don't know the exact reasons, but it's probably because on such things as mechanics and multipliers, off the top of my head, like, oh god, do you really want to give caster quick MPs? It's like,
I mean, it depends on the caster. So casters are dog shit at offense. Mm-hmm. Quick has the highest damage multiplier to make up for the fact that it's the inherently weakest card type. I don't know if that actually helps casters, though. I really don't. I don't know how the math works. Are casters with quick NPs just double shit?
It's like, it's just, that's the thing I'm wondering about. I'm pretty sure there is actually a mechanic reason why such things are such. And it probably has to do with mechanics of, quick card types, damage multipliers, NP gain, all these little metrics that we don't actually fully know and understand that, the Lightworks uses to measure out what they do things.
Yeah, for instance, later, I'm going to talk about a couple of spoilers. Both of our new servants are at least partially arts-focused, which I will explain in full later. They do not have necessarily fully standard NP gain spreads for their hit counts because of reasons by which the Lightworks has designed them. So, yeah, it's always a weird question.
Yeah.
Like, I assume the reason why Scotty has an arts NP is because being non-offensive, quick is meaningless as a card type for NPs, unless you're trying to make a quick chain, I guess. So it doesn't actually matter for a support type. She has it as an arts type, so you can build arts chains, so you can gain more NPs and actually do it. Keeping in mind that that's not how everybody does the Scotty.
Using Scotty for NP.
It's a very common joke. I'm sure many people will say in the chat or in the comments, Scotty has an NP? Yes, Scotty has an NP card. It's kind of obvious. It's not even really that funny as an ironic thing. Honestly, there are a lot of servants people use that they don't even need their NP cards for stuff.
Alrighty.
I mean, it does like 4 things. I think it's a pretty good NP.
I remember it gives evade. Crits.
Yeah, it gives you like 1 hit of evade. It gives you crit stuff. It makes you immune to instant death for at least 1 turn, which is a really weird but probably useful buff sometimes. Yeah, 1 attack of evade. Critical. And it does stuff. It's cool. But yeah, we've got a few more of these.
Mm-hmm. So, that's probably not an answer you're looking for, but it's the one that we can give. I hope you don't mind it, but thank you very much for the question. We are going to move on. This next one comes from Agent 418, who says, "Hey, Omega and Lucky, how's the farming going? Or are there too many Scotty? P.S. Hope everyone has a P.S. Hope everyone has a fantastic time at the Servant Fest. P.S.S. Goddamn hot."
The farming is fine. There are no longer too many Scotties.
I'm going pretty good. I do not have maximum farming strats going on right now, but
I'm just, casually getting apples.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I still had last year's CEs, and so it's probably not going to take me as long. I am, like, very, very interested in those skill cookies. Like,
cookie.
I remember someone asked a question a few weeks ago, what is one thing you wish they brought back? And my first immediate thought was, give me back skill cookies in shops, completely forgetting that apparently they do this on Once in a Blue Moon. I was like,
yeah, JP was like, got you. I got you, fam. I'm like, thank Christ.
Thanks. I just wish there was caster.
Yeah, well, you win some.
Can't have it all. I know. Ow. So.
But also, yes, by the way, if you aren't on my friends list anymore, it's probably because you had a Scotty without an event CE in your lineup, you animal. Most people on my friends list did either at least remember to at least give her a point CE, or they actually switched to one of the several event bonus casters on their actual event setup. I also had to cut a couple of people because 3 or 4 days went by and they did not unfuck their event setups after the memorial quest, and I'm just like, alright guys, come on, I need you to pay a little closer attention if we're gonna be friends. I updated my setup right away.
I did too.
I even tried to set my CEs according to the guide, though it's not perfect because obviously I have compacted them, so if you needed multiples of a certain CE, that was no longer possible for now. I've gotten a couple drops, though, not that I care. We'll talk a little bit more about this later.
That is that. Thank you very much. This next one comes from... Was that enough of those? Yes. I wasn't sure. But they say, hey guys, how are you guys doing? I hope you guys... That's 3 times you said you guys. Or guys. Have a nice day, and you probably had a kick for my alias that will be used for this one time. Next week, I'll try to come up with something to ask, as I did something in mind, but sadly am unable to word it well at this time. Smiley face. Hope you have a good day, too. Hope your writing goes well.
Mm-hmm.
As
a high-level critique, do watch out for that repeated word choice. I have to catch myself doing that a couple of times in editing.
Yeah.
Luckily, the English language contains many, many words which all mean the same thing, so...
God fucking damn it.
Fixing it is easy.
I hate it, though! I'll never claim to be the literary that Omega is, but, I do dabble in, writing here and there, and just... So many times I'm all like, I know this fucking word. It's this word, but that's not the word version of the word I want. What was the other version? And I'm just like, man, I love the sources. The sources are great.
Listen, when I was like 10, I was listening to SAT vocabulary improving tapes. Words are fun.
Words are fun. Like, see, here's the bad thing is I think I do actually have a decent vocabulary. It's just I always forget what the word is or what the word means. I'm just like, I know this word, but I don't know what it means. Or it's like, I know what it means, but I can't remember the word. I'm just like...
Now, if you want us to pronounce words, well, we don't do that. It's in the contract. Pronunciation not included.
No. So, we're going to move on. Thank you very much for that. This next one comes from a sleep-deprived master hoping that his servant's manga becomes a UFO table anime. Question! What's up, guys? Hope your like is going in the right direction. Let's go, Knight. So for fun, it's beach volleyball time. Lucky you make our coaches on opposite sides. Who would you two pick on your teams of 3 amongst the summer servants? Lucky gets first piece since Omega is Omega. Why are we playing beach volleyball? Can we just go inside and read or something?
I'm not a big beach volleyball guy. Lucky, can we mutually agree to end the conflict?
Yes. We will call it a tie and we will break for internet.
All right. Shake hands, everybody. Good game.
Yeah, good game. I'm gonna touch out the servants' butts. And we out!
Alright. Don't waste that Gatorade. Don't dunk me in it.
Nope. Alright, but I think we answered that. The answer is there's no conflict, so we move on. This next one comes from Moon is patiently awaiting the casino event to arrive and for the summer semester to end so I can focus on the internship properly. Also, you were right, the fun did not last a very long time. Someone saved me. I called it. I fucking called it. Listen, it's all sunshine and rainbows until you realize it's all a corporate hellhole.
Everything's fine until somebody asks you to photocopy this. Could be worse. Could be thinking about mimeograph machines. Microfiche. There's a lot of dead media out there, guys. I've gone to college. I've been in libraries. Fuck, I've volunteered in libraries handling the dead media. And internship is a lot like volunteering, funnily enough. At least if you're not paid. But yes, this person has a question at the end of their story.
Yes. Greetings, Lucky and Omega. Hope you're both in good health. I'm way too fat, I've realized. I need to fix that.
I'm gonna start swimming when we move to that new house with that pool.
God, I hate you so much for that. Yeah. But my irateness at Omega's fortune in life, aside, which dumb quote from FGO do you like the most? For me, it's Sigurd's classic Megana Kiram. And Summer Secret says it's one of his new voice lines too. Oh yeah, Secret, that's good. Oh, dumb quote.
Oh yeah, is this gonna be the first time I'm going to be able to get all 3 summer costumes right away? Anyway, quotes.
I'm not necessarily what you mean by a quote, like just something they say in a voice line, or...
Yeah, probably. Just something they say in-game.
I mean, I currently get
meme lines.
I mean, I currently get a kick out of Tama Lancer's Sunshine when she gets hit by an MP.
Yes, Tamo has, I think, probably some of the best. I don't actually know if she says Tomo Shock anywhere in the actual dialogue of FGO, but I still remember that line from Extra. The Sunshine, though, is just... It's so weird. Why did she say Sunshine as her damage line? Is it like a cuss word?
I don't know, but it's
a good weird dumb line.
Yeah, no. I love it, but like I said, me, I'm a Tomo stan, so so I just like remember a lot of her weird lines. Like Tama Cat's like one of her lines is like, "Would you like it medium? Would you like it rare?" I'm just like all the time.
Well, yeah, somebody in chat brought up Double X's dialogue is pretty good. And specifically, I'm thinking about, I think the one I remember the most is her version of the NP line where she says,
Give me a bonus?
Yeah, Aether Space, give me a bonus! I'm like, yes, that's the one I remember.
No.
As the dramatic music plays, and she's just like, "Oh, Cosmos, give me a bonus." And how also some of her first Ascension lines are just beep boop robot noises. Like, I remember one time I was doing, it was earlier, I wasn't related to this event, but I was doing, like, some kind of CQ or some high-level boss stuff or something, and so it was versus a Berserker, so I was running Foreigners, and I just remember getting hit with an NP a lot or something, and I'm just like, I keep hearing this weird static now, and what is that? Oh, right, Double X is in this party. That's her robot mode's, damage sign, is just, she makes, like, a static crackling noise. There you go, that should answer your question.
Yes. We shall move on, thank you very much. This next one comes from Mooncell Master, Relax Again, Hawaii. But are you actually at Hawaii?
Just
listen, Lucky's been doing some reading. Like it's been a weird topic, but I've been doing some reading on like Summer BB, and like all this other stuff. So I'm just like, But they say, "Dear Beach Bunny Lucky and manning the con booth Omega." This is gonna be switched because I don't think there's any way in hell Omega's gonna man a con booth and have to deal with a whole bunch of random people.
Yeah, no. But I've lived in a lot of tropical areas with beaches. I can do that. Anywho.
So, they say, what has been your favorite moment from each summer event? Enjoy being stuck in time loops until the tickets to Vegas, Paradise, get here. Favorite moments. Well, honestly, like, I'm not really that good with, like, remembering specifics.
Well, I think I have a slightly better memory than you most of the time, and even me, I'm having time picking out, like, moments. Like, Summer 1 especially is not a good moment-to-moment story. It's a story of, like, funny haha building your own summer.
Yeah, no, like, I enjoy, like, Summer 1, like, I think my favorite moment of Summer 1 is just, part 1. I just enjoyed all of that. Just building my special island, and, all that.
Mm-hmm.
Summer 2, kind of Mobocop is pretty great.
Rather than try and pick out another more discerning moment, I'm like, no, Lobocop still gets me to smile. That's that.
Yeah, I don't know. Unfortunately, in Summer 3, Realist talk. I literally just love every moment of Summer 3. It's like I'm thinking.
The problem with 3 is that it's really well written. It's very hard to pick an individual moment because of the loop mechanic. They go out of their way to make sure that you get quality time with everyone.
Yeah.
Most of which are written really well. Like, your little play date with Ushi is really good. The weird sisterizing beam moment with Summer Jean. Like, that whole sequence of events. By the way, sorry folks if you hear some like background noise. I'm fighting all my various chords to everything. Trying to relax. Ibaraki getting her swimsuit, like, there's a lot of good stuff there.
Yeah, no, like, I can't, like, honestly, so I can't honestly pick, like, I just love, like, if I had to absolutely pick, like, I can't even pick, like, a moment, but I can pick, like, a theme, I guess, and I think my favorite part about, like, Summer 3 is just Blackbeard and being the fucking bro beard that, he can be. Like, again, like, I think, like, I love Blackbeard in this event. Just being so supportive. And, like, a very variety of ways. I forgot that, like, when he finds out that, like, Maeve's being Maeve, he's all like, alright, no more simping Blackbeard. And then this pirate friend says, hey, check this out, we can get more stuff from Maeve. And he's like, die! And just shoots him. I'm like, man, Blackbeard, you're great. I love you.
Yeah. Honestly, we can say this, we're not good at favorites.
No.
We're not a really good favorites team. I've always had that problem, and I know Lucky also has issues with picking his favoritist sometime when there's equally good stuff. Like, I've never been good at, like, ranked lists or anything.
But we will see if there might be something different in Summer 4. We're got, like, what? God, do you think we're going straight into it after Summer 3?
Probably. I don't know if we've got any events in the gap. I'm sure Stream Chat will let me know if we do have a gap event.
Yeah. Alright. But with that, we move on. Thank you very much. This next one comes from Ayas, the one who is confused.
Oh my god,
Wait.
why are you asking us a math question?
Hang on. Yeah, I saw low numbers here, and I kind of frisked for a second.
Okay, I'm good at probability, but damn.
Alright, question. What are the chances that /1, why is there a slash after that?
That should probably just be a space.
Space. One can get 4 SSR, 3 rate-ups, and 1 spook in a banner before getting 1 rate-up SR on a banner one is trying to get. Short story started with numbers and numbers, and now here I stand with numbers. Guessing there went any potential look I could have used for the new summer event. But yes, hoping that the Lightworks raises our master level cap soon. It feels weird to already be at master level. Sincerely, IS, the one who is confused. The chances of that are really small, but not 0.
Yes. So I'm not gonna actually crunch the numbers. I could if the data set was a little cleaner, but I don't want to have to look at all the numbers to process this. Probability is like the one branch of mathematics I can actually wrap my brain around, but it requires a lot of setup and work. The short version, though, I will say, is that because of the way FGO works, is FGO is a probability with replacement. Basically, hypothetically, after you roll the gotcha and you get, 11 things out, all the stuff goes back in the pool. So it's not like a literal capsule machine where when you get the capsule out, it's gone forever, right?
Right.
So this means that technically, if you miss the percentile chance in the, however FGO generates its random numbers, it could just literally pick a number between 1 and 100, right?
Right.
But however it picks its numbers, hypothetically, there's no guarantee that you ever get the number that gives you an SR, because that's not necessarily how the probabilities are weighted. The game is not keeping track of, we've given you so many SSRs, you need an SR now. It's just, there is a slightly larger pie slice for SR than there is for SSR. And you can totally do that. I think this person also told this story in our Discord, and somebody was like, you got Omega's Luck from Summer Part 1. Yeah, that happened to me. Mm-hmm. I spent, at least as much Saint Quartz, if not more, actually. This person said they only did, almost 30 tickets and 158 Saint Quartz. I think I spent, 200 or 300 Saint Quartz. I put, $50 in there. On trying to get Summer Mordred, and I got NP3 Tamalancer out of it. And if I remember, I still have the stream up. I don't think I got spooked by any SRs either. All my golds were just Tamalancer. So, yeah, it is probably a very tiny number, but also, believe it or not, your odds of getting a non-rate-up SSR are also a phenomenally tiny number if you think about it. It's 1 in many digits of numbers worth of a chance, but it still happens. So there you go.
There you go.
The point, I think Lucky said it best, the short version of that, the too long didn't read version, is small but not 0.
Yeah. All hail me, giver of simple knowledge. Ugh. But with that, we're gonna move on. Thank you very much. Next one comes from Screw Massage. I just want Carmilla to step on me. She's not gonna step on you. She's gonna run you over.
Also, Porque no los dos. Applying a very creative interpretation of the colloquial use of screw there.
Mm-hmm.
What? Wordplay.
But they say, to Lucky's friend and Omega's friend. Clever. Oh, Gramps, how poorly you treated me. I don't know why all the lolly servants come so easily to me, though. If nothing else, I'll always have Saber Hokusai.
Sorry, I read that before their to statement, and then you read it aloud, and it still got me.
But I guess you just have to live with your grand total of 0 Gramps, I guess. I don't have a Gramps either. I'm a little sad about that, but not completely. I mean, I do love me some deep Joji voice, but
Listen, the people at home know my luck with single target assassins.
But thank you very much.
The reverse corollary of AoE assassins.
Yes. But with that, we move on. So this next one comes from On the Hunt for MP2 Assassin Ushi. Question. So what is your most hated game mechanic so far? For me, it's definitely the level cut during Salem and the Mystic Code screw up while poisoned in LB3. Blech. Here's a fun fact. Of all the archers in the game, there are only 2 that is Art's AoE. One being Helena, and the other is Jeanne d'Arc. Anyway, have a good weekend.
I suspect that'll probably get fixed sometime this year at this rate.
Hey, guess what? Here's a fun fact for you. There are no quick MP casters. Hey.
Anyway, yeah, I've definitely talked about how after doing the CQ, I was reminded how much the level cut sucked, especially because obviously, so, like, with the way they wanted to do it in Salem, they wanted you to use the story supports who were all, like, bronzes and shit, but it inordinately punishes low rarity servants because they don't have high levels, so they end up even lower, when their level is halved, you know? And that just sucks. Honestly, the poison mechanic was middlingly annoying. Like, when you get to those last couple of fights and it lasts for, like, 5 turns, then I'm a little like, okay, right, I can't use skills. But other than that, it's perfectly fine. What about you, Lucky? Do you have any particular game mechanics you didn't really like?
As thematic as they were, I think actually I didn't like the Samosa Swordmaster duels.
That's another big one. A lot of people don't like having to put Musashi up front.
And I would probably also say Samba Ketz's tag team matches. Those were also a bit of a pain.
Ooh,
I think
treating everything like a CQ is rough sometimes.
Yeah, no, like I think my most annoyance is when I don't have as many options to play as I normally would. I like my agency.
Yeah.
Because, like, I didn't necessarily mind the half level thing, you know, I just, trying to build my team around it. Also, look, he has a fuck ton of servants. He has a lot of options usually, because he's a madman. And, like, with the Mystic Code thing, I just went in with the mindset of, I don't have a Mystic Code. It's just gone. Everything I have to do is without. So, but then because I'm not that great at the strategizing, the planning. I'm just like, cards go per! And somehow works. But, yeah. That's my thought. So,
also, by the way, I want to throw out, runner-up, most people also did not like the couple of times we did the earthquake mechanic, in the Babylonia battles, because then your team lineup got literally garbled. Yeah. But if you just pre-prep, it's fine.
Yeah.
I think I got lucky in those fights and just, got, let's see, it would have been Ishtar then, yeah. Ishtar just got sent to the front and just did it.
Boom.
And then later when we did, I think it was it this year in Case Files? They redid that gimmick for something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I got a Resh put to the front. It's fine. It's all luck. Sorry, somebody in the Patreon chat just said I got the same team back the first time. Yeah, I mean, if it's truly random, that can happen. Lucky, are you confronted with the body of text of the next question?
Yeah, I'm confronted, but I'm gonna do it. I'll go, because okay, so here we go. So this next one, thank you very much for the last one, by the way. This next one comes from the abandoned warehouse. I swear to God, this guy is just working for the fucking mob. I swear to God. You might not know it, but he's working for the mob. But they say, happy week, Lucky Omega. I tried my luck again with Summer 3 Banning and failed horribly again. I just wanted another copy of Summer Ushi. So many minerals. Double ellipses. This one is a bit long, but as promised, this is why I worked in an abandoned warehouse. Oh, sweet, he actually will tell us. Nice. Okay. It's not technically abandoned. It has an owner and it does have water, electricity. I say is abandoned because it hasn't had real use for more than 7 years, and I know for a fact it won't end in the future. The place is really secluded, and my job is supposedly to watch over it, but in reality I do nothing all night besides watch YouTube in my office. There are only 3 workers here, 1 day shift, and 2 turns of night shifts. As I said before, there's nothing to protect or guard here, and even if someone intrudes, we are actively encouraged by our bosses not to confront, only to sound the alarm and call them boss. Bizarre, isn't it? On a completely unrelated note, that has nothing to absolutely do with the above, did you know that in my countries, a classic money laundering scheme of some criminal racing involves the buying of all structures and not actually, he is part of the mob! I fucking knew it! Sorry. Involves the buying of old structures and not actually using them. I heard warehouses were their most popular. Random, I know. Arriva Turchi. Sorry.
Oh, no, Lucky just had a full-blown I knew it reaction in the middle of the read, yeah. Also, by the way, I want to let everybody know that during the middle of that, I was able to sprint to the bathroom, go pee, and come back before Lucky was done with half of that question. As you can tell by the fact that when Lucky said that thing, I busted up laughing. Cool story,
consider
bro.
myself informed. Yeah, no, awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Hey, I'm gonna thumbs up that. Yeah, I like that. So thank you very much for that. This next one comes from Losing Sleep and Sanity, Suna. Hey, Lucky Omega, hope the week has been kind to you and there are new undue shenanigans have occurred. May your rolls be blessed. Gow! Well, thank you, my dude. Hope you're doing okay at work right now. Excuse me. But we have nothing really stuff to add on that, so we'll move on. The next one comes from King of Apples, who is glad they didn't throw out the 500 extra MLB copies of the event CEs. Yeah, no, like, if you know there's gonna be a rerun, keep your event CEs. Just keep it.
Yeah. Even if you got extra MLBs, you can probably be like, I mean, it's only one, you know?
Yeah, what they say. Question, we know that Grand Servants are meant to be summoned to fight the beast, so that implies it's all happened before, right? No. Or are we gonna do some weird time traveling bullshit and reveal that the reason we know about all of this is that we're doing it now and we beat the alien god human history, we fully reboot and will pseudo be removed from history?
That's a lot of speculation, my dude. No. The reason why we know this is because that was the ritual that the summoning is based off of. There's a hypothetical ritual that if you needed to fight a beast, you would summon 7 grands.
And we know the beast because fucking Gil told us in Babylon.
Gil told us that bit, and he has the ability to see the past and future.
Yeah.
Also, we met the guy who stole it, both in this story and previously. That was Makiri Zolgan, a.k.a. Mato Zolkin, who was the one who provided some of the summoning knowledge. So, yeah. No, we know because it's an existing system. That doesn't mean the system's ever been fired, but we know that it exists. Honestly, the system probably has been fired before, but in regular pan-human history, it just gets resolved without anybody noticing. Our usual problem is the fact that we're in, like, singularities or Lostbelts or whatever, where history is not allowed to do its normal self-defense business, and we have to solve problems with what we got on hand.
Yeah, no, because technically people are still able to summon grand classes, even if there's not maybe a beast approach, or fuck, maybe there was a beast of the UK Holy Great War and we just didn't fucking know. Crazy.
I mean, I know that a lot of people have made the deliberate comparisons between the Grail Mud and the Tide of Chaos.
That's true. That's very true.
Nasu loves his callbacks, which are also call forwards. His call times. It's honestly, we shouldn't be shocked that Nasu graduated to straight up time travel stories. Straight up time cop shit.
Time cop. Alrighty. But that answers that. And we move on. Thank you very much. This next one comes from Sakura Vacationer07. Hey, Lucky and Omega. Hope you guys are doing well. Summer is upon us, and I hope you are both enjoying it. Question, on a scale of 1 to 10, how dangerous would a multi-swimsuit essential 5-star or welfare summer comma be as a summer servant? Lucky, I hope hopefully your scooter is fixed by the time you read this, and Omega, I hope you have more wins in the future. And if synchros don't work out, you can XYZ your limit by overlaying your past experiences. I'm sure a win will be within your reach. Hopefully not behind a scary door. Stay well, stay cool and hydrated, and remember to stay awesome no matter what comes next. May summer 4 not break everyone's wallets. So in the first bid, just comma anything's gonna fucking slay me. Like, or fucking...
I mean, if it was a welfare with multiple swimsuits, though I guess some welfares have costumes?
I can see costumes.
That would be very dangerous, though.
Like I said, dangerous.
I mean, I'll phrase it this way. Lucky's like, oh man, anything comma would be dangerous. I'm like, summer redrop will be very dangerous.
Yeah, no, that's just powerful. That's too powerful.
Also, by the way, before anybody jumps down Lucky's throat in the comment, the person who wrote this comment typed out XYZ with all capital letters, so he read it correctly as it was typed.
And if it was pronounced somewhere else?
So, that's a card type in Yu-Gi-Oh! Usually it's written with the Y and Z lowercase, and it is pronounced Xyz for some god-awful reason of localization. But the person who wrote this comment wrote it with all capital letters, so nobody should fight you about your pronunciation.
Naruhodo. Actually, that reminds me, I got a fuck ton of Yu-Gi-Oh cards in today, and there was a lot of Super Heavy Samurai. There was a lot of Super Heavy Samurai.
Why is somebody donating Super Heavy Samurai?
I don't know.
Clearly they're not Vesper.
Yeah, it was Super Heavy Samurai. I saw, what was it, UA? It looked like a sports team.
Yes. I think UA stands for Ultimate Athlete or something.
Yeah, let's see. I think I saw some Knights in there.
Those are relatively modern cards.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, I wonder if there's any Dragon Maids in here. And I actually spent half an hour going through all of them. Fun fact, there was no Dragon Maids in there.
That's a terrible shame.
It was a terrible shame. I still need to buy my set. I do. I'm planning to. It's just I keep remembering there's other things I need to buy. Mm-hmm. But no, it's like I'm tertiarily invested in Yu-Gi-Oh. Not so much that I'm gonna play it myself, but I'm like, I know Omega and stuff into it, so I'm gonna look at these cards and see what's up. I think there was a lot of really fucking rare cards in there too. I don't know. Let's talk about a lot
of shiny text and we'll talk about it on What's Up maybe.
Yeah, but there was a lot of shiny text and there was shiny card arts, and I was like,
ooh, yeah.
I'm like, someone is about to make fucking bank on this.
Probably.
But we'll talk about it more.
Foils can get kind of expensive sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Every day I'm at Goodwill, I am tempted to steal shit. Nope. They steal my hands? Oh. So yes, no, Summer Comma is just, there are no numbers. I'm just in danger. My scooter is still not fixed. I'm actually gonna try and get that done this weekend.
Hold on, wait, do I have a gift for that?
And, yeah, so there's all hope that Omega wins. Because he still punished Omega, the man with no wins.
I still haven't won a tournament, but I made it to finals this week.
Yeah. But,
I'm improving. I'll get there.
So I'm just thinking about that, and I just remember that Hideo Kojima just, like, tweeted a picture of a fucking cassette player with Davey Bodie's a man who sold the world, and I'm just like, damn it!
Kojima tweets are great. I'm glad he's tweeting more. He's tweeting a lot. Like, he's talking about his past experiences as a game designer. Like, he's talking about when he released games and he didn't own the fucking hardware himself, he would go down to the PC store because, of course, like, his early, like, MSX and PC 98 and whatever games, PC 88, were, like, they were not in the toy section. They were, like, put in the back in the software hardware section, and he would go, like, hand out flyers or, like, subtly tell people about his games. Man, the man's got an OG hustle.
Yeah, you do.
There it
Great.
is. I found it. I found the gift.
Oh, that's it, isn't it? That's Ava, ain't it?
Yeah, it's an Ava gift.
Well, I need that gift. I'm gonna start that. Anyway, enough frivolity. Thank you very much for that. Now you got me thinking about fucking Summer Comma. Thanks. This next one comes from I see Summer Versace. I roll. Saving for Eunice be damned. Hey, looking. Okay, you can't see me right now, but I'm pantomiming, opening and closing my mouth and trying to figure out how to talk about this. I think I'm gonna make a fucking new rule here. Do not emotes in the fucking question.
No sound
That's weird.
effects.
No sound effects.
It's hard.
Well, wait, you can do, if you actually make like a sound effect, like
onomatopoeia is okay.
Yeah, onomatopoeia.
Script notes are not okay.
No, like I can't. I'm thinking about this. I'm like, no, this is weird. I'm like, hey, Lucky, you make a knife plunges into person, walks out a hooded man. I'm like,
it doesn't work very well.
Doesn't work very well.
I could make like a vague shanking mouth noise, but that involves interpretation.
That's like, I don't know.
Interpolation.
Like I say, I'm gonna be real. It's been a long time since I stabbed a man. I don't know if I can replicate that sound perfectly.
Well, that's okay, Lucky. Nobody replicates realistic sounds with Foley. You just have to make like a vague steel scraping shink noise. Possibly get some wet in there.
I don't know.
You got a cup of Jello and a butter knife handy.
I could get one, but that'd be again. This is way too much effort. See, you want me acting? Is this what you want? You don't pay me enough for acting.
Yeah, I'm about to say Foley's above our budget, guys. You don't pay our sound guy enough. That is to say, we don't have a sound guy.
Oh. Anyway, so skipping all that mess, I, Steve, have returned. They say, hey, Lopunny, Lucky, and Oricorio. Oricorio? Is it Oricorio? Oh, it's Oricorio now. Omega, how's stuff? Hope your move goes well as Omega and your scooter gets better. I feel like I have to get my scooter fixed just so I can tell people and they stop saying it. Not because, I mind you guys saying I hope my scooter fixed, just because I feel like you guys are very invested in me getting my scooter fixed.
I mean, it was kind of a whole big story. We, delayed an episode, you nearly died carrying it home. It was a big deal.
I guess it's true. Just curious, do any of you know how to hide a metaphorical body on the internet?
Control-Delete.
Yes. Make sure you erase the cookies.
Also, you should have committed your hypothetical virtual murder in incognito mode.
Mm-hmm. Don't forget your VPN either. My question to you is nothing really. Not much going on at the moment. Wishing you the best of vibes and good energy. Just hoping I can get Summer Mizashi after the heartbreak. That was Janelle Rolls. Edit. Lopunny is a rabbit, just like Lucky. Actually, I think I did that. Well, Lopunny makes me think rabbit. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I don't know new Pokemon, so I think Pokemon themed names have got to stop here. Bye! Bunny Bubble. No, you gotta remember, Suna, the ultimate magic is the Bunny Dragon Bubble. Well, actually, no, that's wrong. The ultimate magic is a gun. But after that is the Bunny Dragon Bubble.
Gun?
It's a joke we have in the crow's nest. Listen, I spend a lot of time in the crow's nest because I'm always playing Final Fantasy 14. Mm-hmm. That and Secret Table to Bell when someone starts talking about Jinsekai, because then I'm just like, I'm here. Well, I actually get to talk about a little bit of this, because Lucky actually helped once. Yay. Oh.
That's okay. Sometimes when I don't want to see the rest of the Discord, I just tab over to progression and leave it there. Okay. Tyranno King, I appreciate the fact that you got me a Lopunny pick, but why did you specifically get the sexy Lopunny by Lopunny Pre from DeviantArt? Lucky. How could he not, though? Those words you just strung together, how is that not the most platonic ideal of what we're going for?
No, it's true, but at the same time, I'm like, why specifically the
Also,
sexy love
how
bunny?
do you know this wasn't the first fucking Google result? Rob's just like, what other choice did he have? Correct. I don't think there's any other art.
I mean, I guess that's true. I have seen way too many big boob Gardevoirs in my life. I've just kind of accepted it now.
That's a whole different can of worms we don't want to open up right now about Pokemon art, but just like, Pokemon are weird, guys.
More people are sexual deviants than they would like to admit. I totally admit I'm a sexual deviant. I don't give a fuck. Whatever. This is the part where I crack open a beer and drink it, but all I had was the last dregs of my energy drink, so I'm just like, whatever. Finish that off.
Whatever, I'm vibrating. When he just holds up his hands and they're blurs.
Alright.
2 left.
2 left. This next one comes from a hunter searching for tickets in the sofa for more Summer Musashi rolls. I kind of feel this vibe. Like, as soon as I get done with this event, if we have any downtime, I'm going to try and smash some free quests and some rank ups.
Yeah, I probably should. I've been very slow rolling it. I should take some time and clear those points ladders and stuff and get my cookies and then be free to do free quests. The juice.
But they say, hope you're both having a nice week. Bullet eating Lucky Drake. And still, oh, okay. I was like, wait a minute. Bullet eating Lucky Drake and still Fingers Omega Drake. Are we both Drakes? I guess we're both dragons. Wait, why am I bullet
No, it's
eating?
because we're both Nathan Drake.
Oh!
It took me a second to get it too, but the Steel Fingers helped. I was like, what do we do with Steel Finger? Oh.
Wait a minute, I'm the Steel Fingers. I'm the one who could pull off the fucking melee combos.
No. Ledges.
Oh.
His fingers are invincibility. His impossible grip strength.
Oh, okay.
If you don't understand these jokes, first of all, how dare you? Second of all, watch the various streams of Uncharted we've done.
I think I'm going to do
Uncharted 2.
I think I'm going to keep playing. I think what I'm going to try and do is I'm just going to see if I can catch up to you playing.
Sure, go for it. That will be entertaining for sure.
Yeah. Alright, okay, I'm sorry. I completely misunderstood. You say Drake, I'm like, dragons! Lucky loves dragons?
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, I thought, is this some kind of obscure, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Dragon joke? Because dragons
like, is this a Yu-Gi-Oh! Dragon? It sounds like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Dragon.
They did just announce a lost art of Barrel Dragon. He's got his guns back because that art was infamously censored in the West. Anyway, we're just in the intro. We're just in the, like, people
I'm sorry, it got me. It fucking got me. Hopefully you both are also storing all good luck energy for Summer Vor and Inevitable Degrees. Even if I wasn't, you guys are sending me a fuck ton. I'm gonna have to give some of it back, hopefully I get, like, something good. I already know I'm gonna have to spend money on fucking Banner too. Ugh. But we will see. What's this? Gun!
Yeah, this is the uncensored art of Barrel Dragon. In the original Japanese anime manga and card game, he was just 3 guns. They made him a weird laser dragon in the original cut, but apparently Konami has come to their senses and have released the original uncensored Barrel Dragon. Now I want my uncensored Ring of Destruction, where the ring is just hand grenades. Old school Yu-Gi-Oh! Art is metal as fuck, guys. Kazuki Takahashi's no slouch. Anyway,
they say.
Where was that?
Also, I wanted to ask, since it's canon that Edison is more or less the Captain Planet of the U.S. presidents in Nonsoverse, is there any specific U.S. presidents you want to see in FGO? I think Andrew Jackson's pretty tall at half the list.
That would be pretty weird. Pretty wild.
Like I said, he was a fiery motherfucker.
Saber Abraham Lincoln. Because that
Writer
time
George
he challenged that guy to a Claymore duel.
Then writer George Washington. Make him a Shoto though, please. Thanks. Give him an axe.
I don't know about that last part, but that one didn't win this month, but I'm sure it'll win eventually in Fan Server Friday.
I know what I'm about. Anyone else necessarily? Teddy Roosevelt could be interesting.
Oh god, yeah. Rough Riders. NP, Rough Riders.
Yeah.
Big stick.
Make him a caster. Just for shits and giggles. But no, like, we have
a bigger stick.
Oh no, walk softly, carry a big stick. Clearly he's an assassin.
Yeah, walk softly. It's just Gramps NP, but it's Teddy Roosevelt with a giant stick at the end. And instead of the like bells tolling, it's like bugles and gunshots. We have fun here, guys.
We do. But no, I think that's all we have for that. So we will move on to the last. This next one comes from a master drinking a glass of Merlot. I did bartending, so I actually do know how to pronounce Merlot. It's one of those weird ones. While Kiara sunbathes in the nude. Hey, look at Mega. Hope you're both enjoying the summer event to some degree. You mean high degrees, because it's fucking hot. With all this hype for summer servants coming out, do you think I should get summer alts as well, or just keep to Spiriton's dresses? Hope your rolls on summer banners are blessed. Now, I have things to say about this, but Omega, do you have anything you want to say initially?
Okay, so, like, hypothetically, I don't think I have any problem with a hypothetical actual full summer male alts, though Few's been getting weirder with their alts. Like, literally, Summer Sigurd is in Summer Bryn's NP, right? Like,
right.
But honestly, I'm kind of indifferent on the issue, because I don't, other than just, like, I guess, just acknowledgement and multiple ascensions, rather than, one singular ascension, I don't understand necessarily why people are a little caught up on, like, exactly needing alts for stuff, since you do get new dialogue with new costumes. And
yeah, so...
usually, as we've gone on in years, FGO has gotten more and more complex about, recording more dialogue and other nonsense like that.
Yeah. So, that's basically my stance, too, which is why I wanted Omega to go first. Because I'm not necessarily against, I'm not against summer sermons. Like, if this summer they come out, it's like, yeah, we got, full-on summer minister, I'm like, yeah, cool, awesome. But that means I'm gonna have to spend money and roll on them. That's painful. That's painful for me. Because here's the thing that I need to ask you. For everyone out there who wants, full-on summer mail service, I must ask you, what do you necessarily want them for? Do you want, do you want to spend money? Because I guarantee you that's what's gonna happen.
What would be after, is they would do it because they felt they could earn more money that way.
But, do you want, the new costume, the new look? I mean, that's what you get with the Spiriton dresses. Do you want no voice lines? You get that with the Spiriton dress. Do you want new mechanics? That's not necessarily something that's just locked to, males. You get that with basically any new servant.
Also, to be fair, yes, summer does usually mean some amount of creativity, but also, let's be real, some summer servants have been kind of bad, or at least super, super niche. Because it's summer-related, they usually get weirder.
Yeah.
I honestly, I know it's because it's Robin, but Robin's brought up Astolfo, for instance. I'm like, wouldn't be shocked. Astolfo seems like a very safe choice for a, very clearly, well, not clearly, but you know what I mean, male summer. But also, Astolfo just got a straight-up alt anyway. They just made a 5-star Astolfo.
Yeah, but, what would you rather wear? Would you rather, I guess there's a question. Would you want, Robin just wants more Astolfos. I think he just wants more Astolfo versions. Costume servant, just give the man more Astolfos. That's what they want. But, again, me personally, I like having my summer meals. I realized I've been doing Robin and Casgill a grave injustice because I haven't actually unlocked the Spiriton dresses. I was just recently.
I think I need one more level on Dante's. I should feed him some EXPs again, that last one, so he's 90.
Yeah, but no, it's no, technically as far as I'm concerned, I have summer males. It's just I can switch them back into regular servants whenever I feel like. And I didn't have to spend a fucking dime on it. That's much more economical for my wallet.
Yeah, listen, it's a lot like how things turned out with the idol event. I know some people seemed kind of disappointed that it felt kind of low energy, but I'm like, no, that's a lot of free costumes. And ways to unlock other costumes, I'm like, no, this seems cool. This is good. Just get costumes. Costumes goo.
No, so, I will not be upset if they give me summer males. I take that back. I will be upset if they give me summer males, but I'm just going to be upset as I would be any time where I'm going to have to spend a lot of money to get a lot of servants.
I mean, you could probably do something very funny and make a whole banner, the quote-unquote gender ambiguous servants, Summer Stolf, Summer Chinshi Wong, Summer Daeon, Summer Enkidu. You could go apeshit and it would be very funny. But that would probably be stealing my wallet, so I'm like, I don't know about that, though. No. Summer Chinchi Wong, Great Water Wall of China. No, Great Water Park of China.
No, Great Water Slide of China. It's just a wall, but it's just one giant slide.
It's just his space wall, but he slides down from orbit. And that would replicate the weird pseudo-colony drop he did in Lostbelt 3. That would be pretty fun. Dion also, by the way, I'm actually quite shocked Dion's never gotten an alt. Dion canonically has 2 NPs, one of which is actually offensive. One of Dion's NPs should be a single target like Art's Attack. Dion hypnotizes you and then stabs you. Canon. And Astolfo has 5 NPs because he was originally a writer, so you just make him anything.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna take that. I'm not gonna take that trade offer.
Honestly, it's really obviously they know that there's some merit to the rate ups for males during summer, quote unquote summer males, as evidenced by the fact that, in case you didn't know, we're gonna have some very weird rate ups during this summer. Merlin will be only on rate up during Sunday, I believe. because, that's the only day off they have in Japan. Do you think Japan will learn from Iceland and take up the 4-day work week? I don't think so. They still have to learn to do 5-day work weeks.
I'm sorry, I'm a little mad. I'm mad when other countries get to have cool work ethics, and I'm stuck here in America.
Yeah, I mean, mostly it's mostly because the people are too limp dick versus corporations, not to paint with too broad a brush. I remember reading a, Business Insider article, or headline anyway, I didn't read the full article, but it was so every 20 years, somebody does the reads about the 4-day work week, but it won't happen over here because it's because the unions are too weak and just corporates don't listen. I'm like, I don't think that's why. Yes, you can argue that unions and organizations and labor has a much more stronger presence in Europe, but I don't think that's specifically why. What's specifically why is just that all of our corporate big businesses will spend way too much money to stop it.
Yeah, they will.
That doesn't necessarily mean that labor is weak. It's more than just that corporate money is really, really strong.
And I'm about to say, I think our unions are pretty strong. They're just very strong in protecting their own interests.
And I gotta be real, listen, I understand the desire to self-organize and all that stuff. It's good to be able to choose your own destiny. Unions are also still weird, though, because they have to justify their own existence.
Yep.
As large-scale organizations of humans. Anarchy now. Anyway, but, I don't actually know if every union would be okay with a 4-day work week. Some of them might feel like that actually decreases their power because their people are in the office less. We'll see what happens, honestly, coming out of the pandemic. Honestly, if your business is for Lucky, it makes sense because he's part of a system that has physical inventory, right? They can't ship the goods you list online to you so you can inventory them. That's dumb. You have to physically handle the objects. But for a lot of people, you can just work from home. And if your place of work wants you to go back to work, especially when it's still not safe out there, even if people are vaccinating and stuff, it's still crazy. Maybe they don't need to. And maybe you don't need to find that job because there's actually huge demand for jobs, so...
Oh yeah, no. Actually, we're actually some businesses are actually starting to raise their minimum wage so they can try and attract workers.
Yeah, they're trying to be competitive. And arguably, that is the thing that everybody warned you about. It was general you. They warned us about if you extend the unemployment benefits and everything so people can live while they don't have jobs, they won't want to go back to work. Correct? Yes. Working sucks ass. Yeah, listen. I have a work ethic about shit I give a shit about. I have a work ethic about this most of the time. I'm going to have a work ethic about this later because it's 10 o'clock at night and we're most of the way done through the show, but also I want to go back to playing ME3 and stuff, so shit to do. There's a thing where businesses weren't competitive with just staying the fuck at home. And I think there's something you should think about in your life when your physical tasks to give life-affirming money juice and possibly offer self-fulfillment or whatever, some jobs like that, I'm sure, does not compete with staying the fuck at home. You should think about what's going on with your life and how much you're offering for your job.
And honestly, I work a minimum.
This has been the incredibly complex, multifaceted workers' politics of Studio Mega.
I guess I'll finish up. I technically work a minimum wage job, but I get to handle cool objects all fucking day and just have to post them on a desk. I'm and I take a bus. I take a bus to work. That's not a complex route, so.
Even also, I gotta be real. It sounds like your workplace is pretty chill. You've talked about before, where when you get done with the inventory, you're fine.
Yeah, no.
You got nothing to do.
Yeah, no. They would want me to work more, but I don't have people hovering over my shoulder telling me to work harder all the time. So, also, actually, I can talk a little bit. I can talk about that.
And who knows? Maybe your workplace would benefit from the 4-hour work week, because statistically, losing that 5th day of work actually improves productivity, because people feel like they want to get more done while they're at work, and they're not constantly being drained by having to be there.
Honestly, like I said, I love 410s. I generally honestly do. Having an extra day off, does not compare to just working an extra 2 hours a day. It really doesn't. Talking about work ethic and stuff, when I'm during the week, I'm just in my work mode. I do not get out of my work. I get in my work mode Sunday night, and I do not get out of it until Friday afternoon. So I ever actually only am not in work more 2 days a week. Getting that third day off just means I'm in the work mode only 4 days a week. So I'm just
Meanwhile, I'm basically self-employed by you guys, and I feel pretty good about my job. I get to set my own hours, and yes, I put in the work, and I could probably put in more work. I've been feeling a slight itch that I'm man, sometimes I feel like we're not putting out enough videos, so I might have to come up with some other nonsense bullshit video series to put a little bit of work into.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm Lucky, and I've agreed with him. We both don't like to clutter the channel with an excess, but there are times that I'm like, oh yeah, we didn't upload anything. This week it's because I was still too zonked after my vaccine and stuff to run our RPG last weekend, so we didn't do that, so we had one less upload, basically. We started this question talking about summer mails by BT Dubs.
How did we even get on?
I think it's because I made a joke about the reason why Merlin was only available on Sundays is because the Japanese people work 6 days a week.
Oh, and that's right, and then you were talking about 4-day work weeks. Okay, I remember now.
We should institute the 3-day weekend of FGO. Banners on Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Too powerful.
Anyway, all right.
Anyway, that's a mailbag. I eat it. It's gone forever.
By the way, even with all that extra faff, we're still only at an hour and a half.
Jesus. Oh yeah, I finished the thumbnail. I should probably post it.
That might be useful, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll need that later.
Did I do a dumb again? I did a dumb again.
Did you save it somewhere weird?
I saved it as a clip again, which is the it's the edible version for Clip Studio Art. It's not a punch. I have to save it as a punch.
Ah, yes, the punch.
Okay, now it is. Wait, that's wrong. Me. Okay, save. I saved it as a clip again.
All this is staying in. This is real time until Lucky stops making it a clip.
Sorry, I'm having moments here. Wait, no. I just overwrite. Did I overwrite it? I overwrote it. Good job. Like, I have to redo the save it with a thumbnail. With last week's thumbnail. Rip. Give me a second. I'm gonna fix this. And maybe kill somebody.
So we're moving into free talk.
Hang on.
Someone
said hamster.
That's a bunny. That's a very sweepy bunny.
Where is it? Ah, here it is.
Is this related to the space hamster?
Yeah.
What?
This is just the hamster meme.
This is one of them crow's nest things, isn't it?
It is.
Oh, that's so. Soon it just types caw. Yes, correct.
Listen, I'm
like a fucking meme old man. I'm like, curse you, crow's nest, and they're just like, caw, motherfucker.
Listen, we're building a society in Crow's Nest.
Well, you've got even more crossover. I saw last night that Dallas opened up 14 again on Steam. I think he's re-upping his subscription.
Yeah, he was talking about that. All right, so we're gonna go into summer free. Before I redo the thumbnail, let's do Chaldea Free Talk for quick, and I'm just gonna get on something a little bit on summer rerun thoughts. So I know I said this last year when talking about this, but when doing the rerun, I don't necessarily have to do, big thoughts. Or, I didn't have to worry about story, so I was just able to focus on big thoughts. And so I really got to thinking, so with this event, I got thinking about the mindscape of Summer BB, a dangerous prospect, I know. But it got me thinking about how I really do think that she really just did this entire thing just to give us a great summer vacation. Like, starting the event over and actually knowing everything that already happened and seeing what leads up to it, I'm just like, no, BB's really like stacking the deck in our favor and not actually committing a lot of shenanigans until the very, very end. I'm like, that's a little weird. Like for one, like, if you take like the base premise, you normally would spend your summer vacation cooped up at Chaldea, which is a fucking, top secret, blacklisted site in the middle of the Antarctic. I think one of the lines is when you're talking about SOCAM, it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go read in bed. I'm like, normally this is a great thing, but apparently everyone else just ran off to fucking Hawaii. So it's just like, So you basically personally intervened in getting Servant Vet set to Hawaii. Became in charge of that, set that all up. Then, high fives Pele so she can smash a couple Hawaiian islands together. So you don't actually have to fucking travel all over, take, hour-long flights to get around everywhere. 3, she puts you into a time loop so you can have a super long summer vacation that's, not just 7 days, while on top of working convention, making, how do I want to say this? Doing something like making a dojin, like, honestly, that seems like it'd be, like, fucking wild, like something, that's an experience.
I know that from playing Persona, that the summer vacation is shorter in Japan than it is over here, but it's still longer than, like, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But the loop is a week long.
Yeah.
So, like, she extends you out your full vacation. Now, obviously, to actually leave the fucking loop, you have to go a little bit crazy, as
But here's the
evidenced
thing.
by some of those very existential quests you do at the end, where you have to literally fight the Dojin.
But BB, like, at one point, BB, like, as far as I can understand, BB plans on, quote unquote, eventually letting you out. It's not something that she's like, she is committed to keep you trapped forever, or she does. I've kind of come to the realization that BB had either wanted this to have one of two ways play out. Either A, she traps you in there forever and keeps you safe from harm, or B, you get to have a great summer vacation and leave refreshed. I'm pretty sure BB was fine with either of these options. Cause
her opinions on what way may or may not refresh you might be different from people.
Like I said, BB's a little shit, but I still love her.
As she is still tan, she knows what she did.
But thinking about her whole, quote unquote plan and scheme, it seems she went in a really weird direction. Because technically, as much as of a little, quote unquote, little devil, she is still fundamentally on your side. That's part of her programming as, the basic, health monitoring AI. So, generally everything she does for your benefit. It's just that, whatever weird corruption of her got her doing it and going way too fucking far. But
you gotta remember, BB's is a literal bugged AI. She was the Nurse Sakura AI in Extra, and then she glitched the fuck out. But, like I said, in summer, she starts you on the summer vacation. She sets up Servant Fest, which is not a small endeavor. It's really not. And she even turned it into a singularity, so the fact that servants could not have to necessarily hide, because, remember, just getting on the plane to fucking Kauai, which, Da Vinci was all like, oh, hell no. And then Jonta was like, oh, hell no. And they're like, but they made it work out. But she's running Servant Fest. During the 7 days, she actively works to protect the tourists and whatnot from the attacks. She's running all the events and organizations. She has lists and stuff. She's doing a fuck ton of work. Well, and some of that, I think, is because of how she arranged this. Is she, much like, BB's lovely history of unintended consequences, like her tan, is she borrowed or stole some authorities to pull this off, which means she also inherits certain responsibilities to the island and stuff,
Yeah. And also, let me tell you, she might, no, technically she did create this Servant Fest. Trust me, when you host a con and you deal with all the events, you are basically picking the lineup, you're picking the guests, you're setting everything up, you're getting all the events set up. That's why, the very few cons are, every con is unique. So no, she's putting in a lot of work. And, the whole Holy Grail thing, it's I'm pretty sure this is where, her weird ass plan was going weird. Because it's BB, she has to do something to fuck things up, but the whole thing is no, you can just keep trying until you win. And she doesn't come up with any other way to, put the grail into your hand for her fucking twisted wish. It's just no, you gotta win. And so I'm just this is very complicated and has way too many variables for a solid, I'm gonna fuck you over plan. It seems
and I think that that's something to be said, right?
Yeah.
Yes, at the end of the event, you have to punch BB because that's just how she is. She's well, I'm not gonna let you just walk out of here. Yes, I was the forwarder the whole time. How do you think I set this up? That's why you gotta keep doing the loop. I mean, and I have to reread some of this stuff and some of the segments. I'm trying to remember, it's because we don't know who the foreigner response is that caused the singularity that we're bumbling around and we're looping over and over again because BB makes us. But, we're still, fundamentally trying to solve the reason why we left Chaldea in the first place. Which I'm not, that first bit, I'm not entirely sure that BB necessarily intended to create. She probably would have come up with any old reason to make us leave Chaldea for Servant Fez or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Because it's implied that that's an ongoing thing.
Honestly,
I just think that it probably just worked out for her that making a deal with Nyarlathotep made it so that we had a little blip in the radar.
And honestly, if anything that confuses me, I'm still trying to figure out why she picked up Gnarl's,
I think
core.
she was just chilling, staring into space, and bumped into Nyarlathotep, and Nyarlathotep was like, "Hey kid, you want to fuck with some humans?" And BB was like, "Do I?"
Honestly,
that is pretty much how Gnarly works.
So, that's, only the only weird thing, if, I find about BB in this event. Other than everything else, she's trying to do you a solid and goes completely way too far with it at the end. Because, like, honestly, like, up until the very end where we do have existential crisis and it's a little terrifying, just a little bit, it's just a fun summer vacation. You have enough time to go see and do everything. You make multiple dojins, you know.
You basically go on all your little date/not dates with everybody.
Yeah.
Like, everybody gets their guaranteed play date.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. You talk to everybody. Ultimately, I think it's just, you gotta I think BB, as somebody brought this up, it's similar to how, like, Kiara has that problem where she wants to do good, but always fucks it up at the end somehow. BB is, defined by her programming. BB is still your sweet sadistic kohai. There's no way that she'll let you get scot-free without a little bit of suffering. She's not gonna put all this work into it and not get something out of it, So that's I think why at the end where she's just like, well, okay, you've done everything I wanted you to do, but we could stick around a little bit more, and I could have some fun.
Yeah, like, by the way, remember her fucking Valentine's and her Bounty are absolutely terrifying.
Correct, yes. The CE is especially freaky deaky. But yeah, no, so it's like, I think there's a good observation there that, like, yeah, no, she really, she the goal is to have summer vacation, otherwise we wouldn't be here. But at some point, BB has reached the point where she's clearly gone too far, but doesn't want to stop, because that's how she works.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, like, again, when I have time to think, I actually try getting to headspace and things, because, unfortunately, like, I wish there was, like, more on fake characters, especially in FGO, because we're always getting, like, unique interpretations of them. Like, was, like, fucking CCCBB gonna fucking talk about summer? Hell no. But there's also CCCBB things that we just don't get now, and it's like...
Yeah, no, and I mean... Ultimately, I think from my understanding of that plot, that has always kind of been what BB is like. Like, remember, the true ending of CCC is Kiara slides into those DMs and snipes BB out of the big bad slot. Like, yes, BB is doing dangerous bad things in the dark side of the moon, but what she's really after in the ultimate ending, if you get the BB ending, is that she's just trying to make some room for her and her senpai, She's trying to understand her feelings and shit that, have to get partitioned off from the moon cell, because it's like, well, my computer program that heals people is malfunctioning, so we're gonna need to, like, section off that data. And, she goes basically AI rampant after that.
Oh, no, it's like, I was saying, guys, if you, like, ever have thoughts about surfing and stuff, like, look at their materials, like, trying to do some critical thinking, because honestly, this is what it was for me. It was just an exercise in critical thinking and trying to understand Summer BB and her motives. And I'm like, no, she's actually just trying her best to make you happy, or make her happy. Someone's gonna be happy.
Well, and you could even say that's why the climax happens. Is she's like, well, you had your fun. I need my fun now. I did all this hard work. Don't I get something out of this? And I'm like,
you're gonna get a tan.
You want to get, painted in the face and go home? And she's like, what? No, that's not what I...
Too bad!
36 views of Mount Fuji, bitch! Hokusai, we're on a mountain. Is it Mount Fuji? And Hokusai's
now it
like,
is.
It could be. It could be more Mount Fuji. Paint. But that is definitely that critical thinking. That is definitely a thing that I think sometimes people don't do, is a lot of times people take characters' motivations too much at face value and don't bother looking and reading into anything and don't ask themselves why stuff happens. They just go, well, I didn't like that you did that thing. I hate you forever.
Well, unfortunately, I have a bad habit of being on the villain side a lot, or at least empathizing with villains. Because in writing, that's something like, in traditional, I won't say traditional writing, but it was kind of a thing, especially in younger writings. Like, villains might not necessarily have everything necessarily, fleshed out or understood. They just might be bad for reasons of being bad. And I've never liked that. I'm like, but why though?
Well, and there's the commonly accepted way of writing antagonists now is there's two schools. One of which is harder to pull off than the other. The primary one is what you've basically just talked about as preferring, is in order to understand why a character is an antagonist, you have to portray them properly. You have to actually explore how they got this way, and you don't necessarily want to, excuse their behavior, but you want to explain it and see where their point of view is, and, sometimes that can dip too far to, sympathy for the devil. You can make some people who are really fucked up and bad seem sympathetic when maybe you shouldn't, because there are some people in our life who are kind of just assholes, and yes, there's hypothetical reasons for that, but they're really not that deep. Sometimes people are unfortunately not that deep, but that makes for dull writing. So it reminds me that once again, a Shillow's piece lately, that Red did Trope Talk All Just a Dream and talked about how it's really complex to handle because it's usually shooting yourself in the foot as a writer.
Oh yeah,
don't waste your own material, guys. Basically, and don't challenge the audience too much. If you make your villains too sympathetic, they ask the question, why are the heroes opposing this guy? You gotta work it out. Sometimes people aren't that deep. The second is the true chaos, good to be bad kind of, nonsense, characters like the Joker, like a lot of classic Disney villains, where they just ham up the fact that just no, fuck you, I'm a megalomaniac, I'm here for the style points. But the problem is, to sell those characters, you have to give them a lot of charisma and interest. If people truly kick puppies for no reason, and that's all they do, that's dumb. Nobody likes that. If they're, really interesting in the way they act, though, think of all your favorite Disney villains, how over the top they are,
I mean, someone just brought up Hades. Hades was great. Completely inaccurate, but he was still great.
Fucking James Woods, yeah, no, he's delivering. He's selling it. It's great. Ursula's another very classic one. What the fuck is she after? I don't know. I think she wants to rule the ocean or something. But, she belts out the dance lines and she, has the moves and the evil things and she turns giant. She shoots lightning. Lots of other ones, Scar.
That's the one I was thinking of.
I should have to work on my curtsy. Be prepared, all that stuff. Which is very fascist if you actually watch that musical number lately. It's not subtle.
They're all stepping in time, literally.
It's very unsubtle. I mean, and I know that this movie is sometimes a little misaligned because there's some interesting takes in it, but even think about Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is very dark. Judge Frollo, fucking everybody remembers Hellfire. It's pretty fucked up, but
Hellfire.
Yeah, no, the music in the Hunchback is. It's been a long time since I watched that movie, but I should sit down. But they did the whole orchestral choir thing really good. Jafar is also pretty great. I mean, fuck, even old school. You guys remember Captain Hook, right?
Oh, I do.
He's after Peter Pan. That's all he wants. He's trying to kill this tiny fairy child boy in greed because, well, let's be real, Peter Pan is an annoying little snot. But damn, if he's not selling it every second, he'll not get my other hand. Dude's afraid of a fucking crocodile, and who shouldn't be? Who shouldn't be afraid of that crocodile? Ticking. But yeah, no, that's those are, I think, the two schools of antagonism, and it's very hard to be in the middle. So, basically, you guys should just think about this when writing and also when reading villains. And yes, a lot of characters in FGO are supposed to be approachable, right? Mm-hmm. We understand a lot of them. This happens a lot in Lostbelts. Singularities are less so. Those are a lot more a lot of people we encounter are just pawns of Gaetia, who has a reason why he does stuff, but is also kind of a douchebag. But that's the whole point of being the Beast of Pity.
Actually, I was thinking about that. Maeve is definitely in that latter category. Is she just loves being bad, but Maeve is a character. Oh yeah, no, Maeve. If you can tolerate Maeve, and a lot of people really can't for slightly excessive reasons. We've talked about this before. A lot of people in our community have a really weird read on Maeve, where they're very, very upset by the really, really petty anti shit she does, and I'm just I don't care. We're hanging out with Jolter. Do y'all remember when she, threw wyverns at us? You remember when her first version of her NP was she made it rain steaks? Also, she was a ruler boss. That fucking sucked in early FGO. Ugh. But, it's... But yeah, no, I'm just trying to think about our villains, But yeah, no, Maeve is absolutely the just, evil and loving it, which also is true to her characterization, I believe, in the original Gaelic. She's just out there being yo, I'm the queen. That means everything is mine. I mean, Doman's got all the hallmarks of that classic I'm just an asshole villain. Right down to people trying to massage his flaws because he's hunky, and also having lots of freak-out moments when things don't go his way. Hence, getting jobbed out by a fucking caster who's already dead. Nerd! Stuff him in a locker. Actually, yeah, I think Kama's gonna... I mean, she's gonna stick him in her arm, but if he stays being an alter ego as an eventual enemy, I'm sure Kama will stuff him in a locker later. Thanks, Weird Class Advantage stuff. I'm super glad I got MP2 Kama.
Kama also is trying to just be like, yo, I'm the beast, I've got a perfect plan. But she has, being a Sakura face, she has very similar vibes to BB, where she's clearly trying way too hard and then it just goes all wrong. We have a really long episode about this you guys should go watch. Wow, we managed to kill like half an hour there. We're at an hour.
I wasn't expecting me talking about how I think BB is not as bad as people think to go this long, but hey.
I mean, it brought up a lot of questions we often field about antagonists and characters in this, because, let's be real, there's first of all, FGO, fuck ton of characters.
Yes.
And as like you said, not all these characters get all their due diligence when it comes to writing all the time. Mm-hmm. Sometimes some of their characterization is locked behind, actually rolling them and stuff, or is in external media. And like we said, sometimes the audience reads and reacts to characters a certain way, and we'll have to see how it goes in the actual body of the text. It took the audience a long, long time to forgive Fionn for not being Bryn and for hitting on Mash that one time.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm guilty of this.
Well, also to forgive him for the thing where he was too lazy to heal Deerwood's wound, but that's because we already had a real big long look at Deerwood being suffering because he's a Lancer. Rip him. But then Fionn got to be a Lancer, and then he's got, like, the double rip. Oh, yeah, Arjuna alters a literal case. That's an actual thing. Like, he gets more human as his ascensions go up, so you can't actually... no. I know you're being a grandma, Robin, you were correct. A lot of people are very, very upset at Canis for existing and saying lines, but... I always say this. I'm like, don't you fucking say anything yet until the story chapters they get released on come out. Listen, even if I don't like servants, I've been in this game long enough time. We've been doing this show nearly 4 years, and the game has been out 4 years. I have to double check when our anniversary is again. It's sometime in early August. We are coming up on 200 episodes as well. It'll be around then. We'll celebrate. But yeah, no. Lucky, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, always wait till the story comes out, because after the story comes out, you go, oh no, my wallet. I want to roll. No. So I'm like, I don't ever let my opinion of a character stick until I feel like they have left the story, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Canis is kind of an asshole. I honestly think people are, as someone who also doesn't like the NTR genre, people are way too upset about Canis just being, hi, I'm a Greek hero asshole.
I mean, have they met Greek heroes? Most of them are assholes. In some form or fashion.
People's understanding of the sex was not really great in the Greek times. That was, I think it was a couple weeks ago, Blue did a history maker on the writer of the great Greek comedies, which included a lot of political satire of Athens, several of which were about how fucking sexist Athens was. Listen, the Athenian democracy, great stepping stone. Don't suck too much Athenian cock, guys. They were assholes too. Women couldn't vote, and people who didn't have enough money couldn't vote, and they still had slaves. Though, that's another thing that, like, the like, late Renaissance, I think, to early modern period, like, industrial era, like, chattel slavery is, like, a very different than, like, classical Roman slavery, where you could literally buy your way out.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, people got greedy, and greedier, and greedy. Listen.
It was almost like there was the triangle trade was a literal triangle of greed. They were like, wait, everybody has something I want, and I can get what I want out of this, except for the people being exploited.
Yeah. Listen, it's a rule of kind of human nature. If something will be exploited, it will be exploited until someone actually says stop.
I mean, we even know that today. I believe the Senate recently passed a bill penalizing companies if they do any trade in the region of China where they're very definitely using forced, we're not calling it slavery, but it's slave labor.
Yeah.
Of political dissidents that we don't like. I believe that was recent, yes.
I'm pretty sure it's recent. I do know that Biden has put in an initiative to kind of try and take away some of China's economic power and give us technology initiatives. Yay.
Yeah. But good. We'll need some backups, because it does seem a little bit like now that we've toned down a little bit of our pandemic news, we're realizing there's other fucking things going wrong in this world we should probably think about.
Yeah. But,
Lucky, how's the thumbnail coming? It was all just buying thumbnail time. No, I'm kidding. No, what will buy thumbnail time is I have to read 4 blocks of text now.
Yeah, no, we're probably done. We're probably done with BB talk and other faff talk out here. Let us know what you think about BB in the comments below. Better be nice things. Otherwise, I'm just gonna shun you.
What do you think about BBs?
I kind of want to BBs.
BBB. I know what I'm doing. Also, no, actually, we're wrong. Not time for bronzes, because it's time for new servant deets. Spears edition. Once again, because that was 2 hours ago, I will bring this up. One of these is really long. One of them is very short. You can take your guesses now, whomst it is. And locked in. Final thoughts. So, we'll start with the SSR as we usually do. Fairy Knight Lancelot, aka Melusine, aka not that, because that's not her real name. By the way, she literally says this. That is her quote-unquote, like, true name style reveal. By the way, fun fact, they brought back the true name reveal system.
Why?
Even though that if you ascend your servants, you figure it out manually anyway. It's very funny. It's interesting, right? I'm glad they brought back the mechanic, but I'm also glad they weren't huge pains in the butt about it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so Melusine is her, basically adopted name. I'm pretty sure, for reasons we may or may not get into, she's related to the Dragon of Albion, which in proper human history is in the basement of the clock tower and an important source of magical stuff. In case you guys forgot that lore detail, I definitely told you in a previous Teach Me about how the clock tower actually has a dragon in their basement.
That might be a little awkward when we go back to proper human history.
Yeah, so I'm fairly certain they're related, but I'm not going to explain how or why, really. It's just like, yeah. No, it's called the Dragon of Albion, and I believe the bottom floor of the clock tower is called the Tomb of Albion? Albion's just another name for Britain, so I don't know how much of a proper noun it is, but I'm pretty sure it's close. Anyway, so, Fey Knight Lancelot here. She has a fairly high attack and middle HP for what she's going on with her Lancer stats. She has a Saber-style quick arts buster deck. Put a pin in that one. Has good hit counts and NP gain.
Hey.
Now, this is where shit gets weird.
Oh no.
So, Fey Lancelot has 2 NPs. And no, I don't mean like how, Emiya can now switch his NPs the same, but it can be arts or buster. No, I don't mean how you can pick whatever card type you like with, Space Ishtar's, skill. And no, I don't mean that she has 2 different animations for her NPs, though that's also true. No, I mean literally, this servant has 2 different NP cards based on which ascension you're using. Yeah, it's a little freaky. Spoilers, if you didn't bet that Melusine was the long one, you've lost. So her first NP version, is Innocence Arundite. It's an ST Arts, which is very similar to Arundite Overload, but more SSR, because it does more stuff. It increases her NP gain first based on Overcharge. It adds 1k damage plus, so, like, it's reverse damage plus, basically the target takes 1k more damage whenever they take damage for a turn. And generates 10 critical stars. It's like Arundite Overload, but it's more. The second, Hollow Heart Albion, is an AoE Buster, which gives her Pierce Invul for the turn, increases Buster based on Overcharge first, and also inflicts 1k burn for 5 turns. So, both are perfectly normal NPs for what they are, but the fact that she can theoretically have access to either of them makes her really interesting. So her skill kit is also going to be important to kind of tie this up here. So her first skill gives her 20-40% attack for 3 turns, it gives her a 500 point damage cut for 3 turns, and 1k to 2k max HP for 3 turns, and a 20 to 30% battery. A pretty standard self-buff skill, all selfish. Her second skill is also pretty simple. It gives her Star Absorb up 5 to 10 stars per turn for 3 turns, and then 5 to 10 stars right now. So just basic star infusion skill. Pretty important. So, then we get to the last skill. The last skill is where it gets weird again. Alright? So, this skill is called Ray Horizon. If you're on stage 1 to 2, which is when her first NP is active, so basically you get Innocence or Arundite when you're on Ascensions 1 or 2. And then if you're on Ascensions 3 or Final, and I believe this is sprite-based, not art-based, but if you're on Ascensions 3 or Final, her stage 3 level, you get Hollow Heart Albion. So, if you're on those first 2, Ray Horizon gives you a 500% chance to just straight up switch her to stage 3. She actually switches Ascensions in battle. It also gives her a 50 to 100% battery. Beeg battery. Yeah. And invul for 1 turn. So basically, if you're not in her AoE NP form already, this skill, if it's leveled up, immediately is like, oh shit, I want an AoE. Fuck. Get me out of here. Pull the lever.
Solid.
If you're already on stage 3, it's just the invul for 1 turn and adds 20 to 30% NP damage for 3 turns. So basically, if you're already in AoE mode, this is just yet another NP steroid. No. As far as I can tell, you do not switch back to stage 3. There is, unless it is a buff switch, you can't switch back, is the weird thing, as far as I can tell. I have not found any notes. Yeah, she stays in the form. Her passives are MRB and Territoriation B+. So, I'm not entirely sure how to describe this kit. She has 2 completely different niches based on which ascension you're using. Like, the transformation isn't reversible, so it can be very finicky to get what you want. If you want to just use her as a really high-quality buster AoE, that's but simple.
Honestly, it sounds like you probably want to keep her in lower. You want to basically keep her in lower ascension, but just in case, low that 3rd skill, just in case you need to delete some mobs immediately.
Yeah, if you actually want to use her as a single target arts to punch guys, yeah, you can do, you can work on the enemies and be like, alright, boss, fuck you. I kind of wish the switch was reversed, right? So you could start at AoE and then go to single target.
Yes, that's true, yeah, because there is a lot of times where it's, you gotta wave clear, a bunch of mobs, and then you have, like, a boss, and the next one you might want to give the boopin' to.
That said, at the very least, the thing is that because of the way her 3rd skill works is you could always just leave her in a lower ascension so you can get that sweet 100% battery. Additionally, like, as we noted, the AoE buster version is pretty good. It gives her Pierce Invul for a turn, increases her buster damage inherently, and then 1k burn for 5 turns. That's pretty good. She's got some decent steroids. But, that first skill is useful for hunting certain bosses. And obviously, with the access to, battery generators, you can get 100% battery pretty easily on her in her arts form. So, like I said, I'm not really sure where this niche fits in, but it's certainly a niche.
What class is she again?
Lancer.
From what I can tell, I don't think she's necessarily, like, a boss fighter, but I think she's something that you want to use in maybe, like, your 1st or, like, 2nd round, I think. Because, like, especially in the 2nd rounds, when you have those weird mid-boss mobs, because if you're able to MP, like, the mid-boss down to a respectable level, you can immediately go into her 3rd form to maybe AoE down the mid-boss or whatever mobs it has.
Yeah.
But
there
it's
are
not
definitely
something...
some strategies, but like I said,
Yeah.
this is... I suspect that while people like her for her design, because she's got some interesting things going on.
That's great. I think Zax has a good way to put it. She's like the front of the lineup for long form fights, yeah.
I mean, yeah, like she's got a passive damage cut. She can increase her max HP a pretty decent amount, and she already has a decent HP pool. So, she has a very basic bitch, crit star effect as well. But I think that it's interesting, right? That like her hard defense is on her switch skill. That's a little weird, but that's how hard defenses be sometimes. There's definitely ways to use her. I was just gonna say, I expect that in the meta terms, she'll probably be slightly unpopular because she's finicky to use. You cannot use this servant and smooth brand. You don't just tap all 3 skills and go, unless you want to just AoE farm, which is perfectly serviceable. And that's why I think her buffs are arranged that way to be there. But, it's all there. I mean, she's 4.6 million years old. It's fine.
Like it's all about them legal lollies.
Somebody in a chat earlier said, she feels like a little sister I want a head pat, and I'm like, interesting theory. I think somebody said it better. No, she is Smol, big sister. So, shocking to nobody, Percival's way shorter. He's way easier to explain. He is also a Lancer. He is a 4-star Lancer, and like I said, as far as I can tell, he is permanent.
I'm glad there are some people who support my stance. So,
he's a 4-star Lancer. He's got somewhat middle of the road attack HP. He is also a quick arts buster. Getting a lot of Lancers with saber decks. He has higher NP gain due to lower hit counts, but not quite average, I think. Like, he's got 2 hits arts cards, and he's only got, like, I think 0.6 NP gain-ish, which is a little low, but you guys will see why later. there's a lot of thought and design into how all these servants work. Like, talking about Fairy Knight Lancelot. Like, everything in her kit works to make her work. Like, notice how she has a lot of buffs on those first skill, and notice how they're all card type agnostic. It all works out. So, Percival's NP is an AoE Arts, because it's the Lance of Longinus. It's the actual Spear of Destiny, just heads up. Longinus Count 0 is the name. It gives him Pierce Invul for the turn, NP damage up based on OC, and also, funny enough, it heals the ally who has lost the most HP. The way this is actually calculated is whose current HP is the farthest from their max HP. 3k, automatically. No scaling, but whoever has lost the most HP gets 3k heals. I think he just does it on himself if everybody's at full. So, yeah, that's pretty decent. That's yet another Pierce Invul NP. Gives him NP plus for extra damage, and has a healing pass. That's pretty interesting. Works well with art setups. His first skill gives him 3 turns of 20 to 30% arts, a 10 to 20% battery, because of course he's a Knight of the Round, and also gives the team 10 to 20% NP up for 3 turns. Fairly good. Team player. Second skill is, guess what? A taunt. 1 turn taunt that also gives him 30 to 50% NP gain up when attacked. That's why his NP gain is low.
Oh, Jesus, okay.
Because he's like Mash, which makes sense because Mash is also a Grail Knight, kind of. He taunts and gets big NP out of it. So, yeah. No, how Percival procs his NP is he dares enemies to attack him.
Oh, I wonder if that's one of his first... Wait, the 3k is off of.
That would also probably work, because if he would then proc his NP, he's probably taking the damage, so he heals himself.
Yeah.
His final skill is a targetable 1 turn invul and 2 to 3k heal.
This guy's literally just hit me.
Yeah, no, he's great. He is defensive. MR magic resistance B++, which leads to a really weird number. I think it's like 18.5 or something. And writing C. Look how short this paragraph is. Look how simple it is. Percival is just a good arts lancer. He plays well on stall endurance teams and brings new tools to the fight.
Yeah, I was like,
he heals.
He's great.
He's got a taunt. He's got a hard defense that's targetable. That's also a heal. And I love that he's permanent. Percival's just a great unit. I like him. I'm so glad.
I'm gonna be rolling for Faye Lancelot, but I'm not gonna be upset when Percival shows up.
Yes, Loth. His NP is AoE Arts, and it has like 6 hit counts, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. At this time, Mash hasn't gotten any buffs yet. There's still a third part of the story. I'm really hoping, especially after Casku of all people got a story-related buff. I'm like, please, come on. I think they actually let you use old Mash in the story too, like for reasons.
Wasn't there a fight where you get a level 100 Mash or something? I think I saw something like that.
Yes, no, that's what I mean. Like, they let you use old Mash in the story at points, like as a support, but there's no actual first bit.
First part?
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know what's actually going down. I just, occasionally I see screens on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. So I'm hopeful that when that third part releases, because apparently there are a fair number of plot threads that still aren't addressed in the second act. I'm hopeful that there will ultimately be a Mash buff. Like I said, there's so much not yet done with Mash. She's still NP3, and also only Bond 5. Come on. Also, you can't Grail her, so she's stuck at level 80. Yeah, you weren't here for when I read the news, but no, the Lostbelt 6 is not over yet. There's a third part coming early in August. It seems like they divided it roughly along 3-act structure type style. Like, 1 is all the rising action and lead up and explanation, and it ends with a big climactic fight. 2 is then all the shit happens, and then, yeah, there's a third release. I'm quite shocked. I guess these people all got here late. Yeah. Yeah, so it's 30, 40, 30. Which makes sense, because Act 2 is usually the largest part where all the stuff's then, and then 3 is just going to be all climax nonsense.
Climax! Well, it'll probably be penultimate climax stadium all.
Well, yeah, it'll have the actual elements of a third act, but, it's probably going to start going all apeshit, because it's, like I said before, and I'll say to people who are, tuning in live as patrons now who didn't catch the first bit, Lostbelt 6 is very dense and very twisty-turny, and it's got a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, from what I understand. I can't wait to read it in a couple of years. Like I said, I do hope they kind of maybe tighten up that release schedule a little bit. They probably will have to do something, like maybe start us earlier in the year to get it all out, depending on where the anniversary break is. Not a shocker. LB4 was kind of short. Well, yeah, that's true. I'm pretty sure the summer is very clearly after the anniversary, as always. They could move the summer rerun too. I don't think that's important. We'll figure it out. They'll find a place. Anyway, yeah, Percival, good. I like him. He's pretty fun. The fact that his spear hurts and heals is a reference to the actual legends of Percival as the Grail Knight and getting the Spear of Destiny. It's a lance that hurts but also heals. I don't think he has his dialogue translated yet, but I am looking forward to see it, because he's a cool boy. He's also huge. I think he's canonically the tallest knight, even without his giant spear, so far. Alright, so, with that out of the way, that's our new servant Deets. Very interested. Love to see people do new stuff. I can only assume that this year's summers will be crazy.
I hope so. Still trying to figure out what we're going to do for summer.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? They'll think of something.
Maybe we're going to space.
Space.
Summer in space. Space summer.
But let's finish off with our new hit segment that everybody loves. Let's do our bronze spotlight and explain a couple of bronzes today.
Yay.
Today in the lineup we have Gareth and Bart. Gareth, of course, is very relevant to the stuff we're planning, which is great. So we'll start there.
The reason why she's in the thumbnail.
So, Gareth is a new 2-star Lancer, which actually isn't all that new. All bronze Lancers are 2-star, interestingly enough. What is unique is that, so far, Gareth is our only bronze Knight of the round. Now, for a little bit of background, if you're not familiar, and yes, this will explain one question that I constantly see in our community. So, Gareth is the youngest child of Morgan and King Lot of Orkney, or Morgause, technically, but, the confiscations, the shuffling, etc. Only older than Mordred, who is technically a half-sibling. Gareth is known as the most chivalrous of the Orkney siblings, probably due to being the young one, being all noble and stuff. And in real-life legends, Gareth is known for that time he joined Camelot disguised as a kitchen servant. And this is where the nickname Beaumain comes from, Fair Hands, because, little Gareth ran away from home and decided to go hang out at Camelot disguised as a kitchen serf, and Sir Kay noticed that his hands were very serf-like. They were very, soft and clean. So he jokingly called him Fair Hands, or Beautiful Hands, Beaumains. And it stuck. The knights are real fun guys all the time. Just yucks and nicknames and everything. Gareth was also recruited by Lady Lynette to rescue her sister and beat up a bunch of color-coordinated knights. My god. Not just the normal colors. Like, not just a black knight, a red knight, and a green knight, but some obscure-ass colors, like the Indigo Knight and the Puce Knight. Just so many knights. Had to beat up so many dudes to save Lady Lynette.
Listen, Sentai teams have been around since forever.
Yes. And then, usually Sir Gareth marries Lynette or her sister Leoness, so interpret that how you will. By the way, I want to throw this out there. I believe in the original, it's either the Vulgate or Le Morte d'Arthur when this story is related about Sir Gareth. Apparently Sir Gareth is so horny for Leoness after rescuing her that he almost loses his virginity before getting married, but is interrupted at the last minute by Lynette, so preserving his standing with God. Once again, interpret Gareth how you will. I believe the way that the translation is phrased is that Gareth is merely good friends with Lady Lynette. Gave her a magic ring. Talking about Space Jam. Did they know about the Space Jam in Japan?
I don't know.
So, there's your primer on the Gareth. Stat-wise, Gareth has the lowest attack but highest HP out of all of our 2-star Lancers, which is pretty interesting. She is Quick, Arts, Buster, with good NP gain. And, it's pretty interesting. So, both of our other Bronze Lancers have non-damage based NPs. It's Leonidas and Benkei, so they have stat buff related ones. This is not true for Gareth, and probably what they were going for when they designed her. She's got a single target buster, so pretty big damage. You'll, hopefully have that NP5. You've rolled out your friend points, so you're ready to go. It gives her Pierce Invul for the turn, and gives the targeted enemy 10 to 30% defense down for 3 turns based on overcharge. That 30% is actually pretty good. For 3 turns. That's significant, A lot of these cap out at 20%, so that's pretty good. And of course, Pierce. Her first skill is just a default Batcon, but later, to coincide with Lostbelt 6, funnily enough, this will get upgraded, so it will not only give her a Guts, but it will also give her 10 to 20 stars and 30 to 50% crit up for 3 turns. So, pretty standard stuff. Crit and Fusion, do better. You've got 2 quick cards, you'll be generating some NP. Also, her Buster NP, has multiple hits, so that will generate stars as well. Her second skill is, guess what? She's a Knight of the Round, so she has a 10 to 20% battery. It also gives her an on-hit buff for 3 turns, which, if I understand the way this is phrased correctly, gives her, when it's triggered, gives her 1 hit of 10 to 20% attack up for 5 turns. So basically, if you use this in her third skill, you will get 60% attack up on 1 attack. Because her final skill is a taunt. Yay, Lancer's taunting. It's kind of a theme. It also gives her 20 to 40% defense up for 1 turn, and a 10 to 20% NP gain increase on hit. So not as big as Percival, but very similar in the design. Beeg taunt, draw enemy fire, and then charge off it. So, yeah, in general, I would say Gareth is another anti-asshole unit. She has guts, so she can persist through some damage. She has a taunt to, deal with weird enemy AI. Has some decent NP gain tricks, and then has an NP, which means your opponents can't get out of being hit with it. So, she facilitates all the roles you want low-rarity Lancers to have while actually having the ability to deal damage, which, like I said, was not necessarily something that Bronze Lancers were doing before. No offense to Leonidas, you're a great support piece, my dude, but your offensive output sucks. Gareth will actually be able to not only do funny haha taunt memes and, live through them, but also will be able to be like, oh, hey, I see you're using a hard defense there, buddy. What if you fucked off and died? Thanks, bye. Speaking of fun mechanics that are cool, let's talk about Bartholomew Roberts, aka Black Bart. Our first and only so far, 1-star rider. He is one of the most famous and successful captains from the Golden Age of Piracy. He has the most vessels captured, according to history, so pretty good up there. He is also known for creating a specific pirate code for men under his command. This includes such things as, every man has a right to vote and equal shares type shit. Also, don't steal from us type shit. Literally the rule, if you're caught stealing, we will maroon you kind of a thing. So yeah, he's that guy. Pretty important. Also, is Welsh. Have fun with that, kids. So, Bart's stats are in line with all other 1-stars, and curiously, his stat spread is actually in such a way that his attack is higher than Georgios's, because St. George is a 2-star, but he has low attack, high HP. His HP is obviously much lower than George's, though, because that's the way his balance is. But yeah, it's pretty funny that this guy has 500 or 1k more attack than George does, even though he's a whole higher star rank up. That's very uncommon, even with low-level guys. So he's got a quick arts buster deck with low hit counts, so pretty normal NP gain as a result. Pretty on the nose. It's pretty high. I think it's 0.7 or 0.8. Now, here's the kicker, guys. Bart's NP has probably the most bonkers trait I've ever witnessed. So this is an AoE quick. That means pretty decent damage. It also has some pretty decent hit counts. I think it's 6. It has a flat 20% defense down on enemies for 3 turns. And then it deals bonus damage, based on overcharge, to all low-rarity enemies. Now, what does this mean? It's very simple. Do they have a bronze icon? They qualify.
Yeah!
So, it is not just servants, it is all low-rarity enemies. So anybody with a bronze icon, including bronze-to-level mobs, he gets bonus damage against. He gets bonus damage based on overcharge. He is a bronze servant in the FP gacha. You can see where this is going. He's got a quick AoE. It will be a lot of damage output. I expect that Mr. Bart, Captain Bart, is gonna get some grails in the future, because this is a very interesting niche for event farming. Also, by the way, this wasn't in my notes, but in case you couldn't figure it out, since his last name is Roberts, he is also definitely an inspiration for the Dread Pirate Roberts. He was an early adopter of the old, black flag of skulls and stuff look, too.
Really?
Never had quite had the skull and crossbones, but he had a couple of flags of, skull and cutlass, skeleton man pointing and laughing at a guy. Lots of different designs. Very inspired. So, basically, this means that Black Bart is the ultimate at farming low-level trash mobs. Now, is this perfect? No. But very useful for some things. His first skill is the old Voyager of the Storm for the classic, you love to see it percentage of 8.5 to 17% attack and NP up for 1 turn. Gareth got a buff. Please, for the love of God, Delightworks, fix this shit. This is just awful. Ugh. 8.5 to 17? Ugh. Get it away from me. Anyway, his second skill is actually rad. It gives him minus 100% star absorption for 3 turns, which is very good because he's a rider. Normally he steals all your stars. And also raises allies' critical damage by 20 to 40% for 3 turns. This skill, by the way, is called, I believe, Pirate Gentleman. So he's being a motherfucking gentleman by letting you have crit stars. I mean, no, yeah, the percentages are still good, but it's the numbers are awful and horribly balanced. They should do something about that, especially since it's 1 turn, so the odds that you can get all 3 NPs to fire and matter is very bad. His final skill is 3 turns of 10 to 20% quick up for himself, 10 to 20% crit down for enemies, and you gain 10 to 20 critical stars, not percent. Percent stars? Wild. Passives are Riding D and Magic Resistance E. Basically, Bart is here to blow up waves of cheap, weak enemies, and then provide stars and the like to your allies afterward. Because, he does have a quick NP. I don't know it, only 6 hits, and obviously having lower stats as a bronze, he inherently loops. You need to do a lot of overkill for that, usually. He does have the bonus damage, so I don't know. But I don't think it's really about the looping, it's more about, like say you're farming an event, right? You've got a wave of bullshit bronze mobs in front. You're just like, you, get the fuck out of here. And then you use his second skill to be like, alright everybody, reap the rewards. I made all these stars for you, here you go.
Yes.
Which is good, because as I mentioned, riders have the best star weight, so this usually means that using them in support setups is sometimes annoying. Honestly, it's a really good kit. Like I said, it's one of the weirdest niches I've ever seen, but you can't say that there's not a use for him. Plus, think of it this way. Occasionally, you will run into bosses in events and stories who are low rarity. How many times have you had to fight, like, a level 90, Mozart or Benkei or something for, an event quest, It happens.
It happens.
So, yeah, it's pretty useful. So next week, hopefully, assuming FGO doesn't, slay us with news, we're gonna do the three-peat, and we'll cover all 3 of our last remaining bronzes. Enjoy this segment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're basically about ready to outro. I can confirm that, shocking nobody, John Henry did win Fanservant Friday poll. We'll get to that somewhere in the next few weeks. Yeah, we got 2 shows left this month, so in one of those 2, we'll work it out. And I think that's everything. I gotta be honest, I don't know what next week's News Week is gonna look like. I believe they will have started some of those JP streams, so we may actually have some news kickstarted up. If there is going to be a part 2 banner right away with some remaining servants on it, it will have happened, so we'll see what happens, if anything happens. What's the actual... When did the summer rerun start? It overlapped a little with all the login bonuses for Anniversary, but yes, okay. Started... Okay, so it ends the 28th, which is a little under 2 weeks from now. Okay, so we may have announced that the next summer is happening, but we won't know for sure. So I might tentatively want to pencil in that we'll do Summer 4 pregame next week. We'll have to see if there's any news for sure. Christ, that means I gotta work on a Summer Blowout Wanted. Well, at least I don't have to do any lore for Summers.
Yeah.
I just have to jam 3 servants worth of mechanics and stuff. That's okay. I was just talking about how I feel like we weren't releasing enough videos, so I have a new project to work on. Yay. Yay. Ooh, that is an interesting one. Somebody just had a thought, they could give you, because you can't ascend him, but you can't get access to his special lines and views for Doman until you actually clear Lostbelt 5.5. They could do that again with Oberon. That would be interesting. FGO's getting really actually clever with how they, are handling high-level servants and stuff, We're not in the days of, hiding them from banners and shit. You know who these people are because you've seen them before, but, we're definitely doing some interesting things. So, hypothetically, there may or may not be news next week. But if there is definitely not news, then we will almost surely do the pregame because I won't have anything better to do. So, there you go. There's your preview for next week. Lucky, any other further future week thoughts?
No, nothing else. I'll probably give everyone my impressions of Heaven's Feel 3, but that's about it for me.
Yep. So, yeah, we'll catch you up next week, of course. And see how things are. In the meantime, make sure to stay tuned for What's Up, which by the time you're watching this publicly has probably, is going to go live, has gone live. I mean, the episode's only 2.5 hours long raw. There's only so much faff we can do. So it's probably not up yet by the time you get to this part. But yeah, check it out. We'll talk about stuff. And stay tuned for future videos from us. Also be sure to watch us play more Uncharted on Monday.
Yes.
Please. I have to come up with a funny title. Maybe I'll just say Buddhist Holy Grail and I can con some of our FGO listeners into watching it. You heard nothing. Sleep!
Sleep!
And in sleep, everything is forgotten, except that if you like this video, you should be sure to give it a like. That's right, I smoothly segued into the outro. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section below. Or don't, because people don't do that. That's right, do it, you won't. You bitch. That also made a great sound wave. You can also join our Discord, as many people have chosen to do. That link is, as always, in the video description and on our channel page. If you are new here and haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. We haven't gotten back down under 3K, so I think we're doing good. Going up, actually. It's great. We got to get to, like, is it like 100,000 before YouTube sends us an award? Since it's a thing we can stick on our walls.
We're gonna be here. We're gonna be at this for a while.
Yeah, probably. They used to do it for, like, 10K, which is much more reasonable, but then they had to stop because YouTube actually got big. That's always so funny to me. I was looking it up the other day, and they was actually like, oh yeah, this used to be at 10K. I'm like, I see the problem. They had to send out too many fucking awards. Too many plaques. But yeah, sub here if you haven't already. Even if you're already subbed, make sure to hit that bell for notifications. Someday, Lucky and I will have to come up with one of those little kitschy animations that literally everybody has that just shows like, subscribe, and ding in the middle of the episode somewhere. Or YouTube will just make that part of the fucking interface. Dear YouTube, if you could be useful and actually automate something, do that for me. I'd love to do a little insert. Even if you're already subbed to us and not notifications and everything, though, you can also join our channel on YouTube to get access to membership badges and emotes. And of course, like it said at the front of the show, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early in audio format for as little as $1 a month or a little over $10 a year. At higher levels, you can get access to polls, early video files, and all kinds of other fun stuff, all the way up to listening to shows live and getting on-air shoutouts. Oh, no. I want to clarify. My promise is not to do the failed portrayal on the Numbers series, which, to remind Lucky, is a series of monsters that are literally named after numbers and go to over 100. That's at 10K. At 10K, I will sit down and do that for as long as it takes, so get me to that 10K subs. I'll do it, you won't. But yeah, so consider supporting us on Patreon. You get good stuff. And we acknowledge you. We love you. You're great. Thank you, patrons. Sorry, somebody said something funny in chat, and I'm just stretching my shoulders. But I think that is our episode this week. If it was too short for you, sorry. We'll have to wait till there's more stuff that we can yell about later. I know that our freakishly long episodes are usually the most popular, even though they kind of kick the shit out of us to produce. You know, just handling all that raw content. But, yeah.
But the Dragon Maids are great, though.
Maybe well, I don't want to say I'll wait until April Fool's next year, but that would be a funny one to do, not as a fail portrayal, but just to sit there and just, like, chuckle about the Dragon Maids.
Check it out.
Sip some tea.
Fuck yeah, tea.
But, yeah, alright. I think that's everything. Lucky, do you have any final thoughts?
Nope.
Alright. In that case, I'm just gonna throw the lever and get us on out of here.
Pull the lever!
Wrong lever.